You just got to take more damage, bro. I dive into their whole team and charge that bitch.
Low-ranked players are not affected by balance, and they shouldn't care about it either.
They had no idea what they were doing with the rework. I'm not going to lie to you. It made no sense. Like, absolutely none.
I thought the torch changes were good, and then I got to Ultron, and I'm like, they did it at the same time.
And they're going to overbuff Mantis and Adam. That's my prediction.
It just seems strange how they just gave some characters, like, just inconsequential nerfs. Like, 50 HP on Penny. Like, what does that actually do?
I was like, they did it because they didn't want to show the community that supports are this broken. That's what I thought.
What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new Clear Comps podcast. Today, we're joined by two special guests, returning guests, Captain and Gallus. Thank you, guys, so much for coming. What's up, guys?
Nothing much. Chilling.
Yeah, we're all over the world here. Nice.
We're going global, Coach Mills.
Going global. So we got Scotland, we got Australia, Texas. You know,
You got it right this time. Last time TeamCaptain was on, we didn't know what the flag meant. We thought it was Swiss. We thought it was
Wales or
Swiss.
Swiss.
Still don't.
Yeah.
Still don't. You know, there's America, and then there's the rest. You know what I'm saying? No. Anyways, let's talk about season 5 as a whole, but also patch 5.5. We got some nerfs, and let's talk about the nerfs first. A lot of them were really light. I want to start off with you, TeamCaptain. How do you feel about just the very subtle nerfs to some of the characters? You know, small ultimate nerfs, charge rate nerfs, small HP nerfs to characters like Emma, characters like Penny, characters like Daredevil. How do you feel about they didn't really do any dramatic changes?
It seems like the way they want to go with the balance is they don't want to like over nerf any character, but they are very willing to like over buff characters. I think they're just trying to find an in between of like try to keep characters powerful and not like completely gutting them. So like Psylocke got a nerf to her ult. You saw Gambit and Invis, they got nerfs to their ult charge, and I feel like they just don't want to completely take them out of the meta or make them unusable.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they have like a design philosophy of like, if everyone's broken, no one is. I think that's what they're trying to do. But like me personally, I don't think it's a good way to go. And my fear is, this is a fear that's been developing for a long period of time, is that they keep buffing the weaknesses of every character, and that makes it so they become less unique. So for example, like buffing Groot so he's CC immune when he has his wall near. That was one of the things that you could punish Groot for. If he was out of position, if you could like pull him in, then Groot was killable. But now he seems to be like just a walking army on his own, and he's very hard to deal with. Whereas like Strange, his glaring weakness is still the fact that he's weak to CC and displacement. I feel like they should keep those kind of design elements within characters' kits because it encourages counter play for the players.
Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, though? Because, so, I mean, obviously you think it's a bad thing, but one of the things that can happen if characters are, there's too many counter matchups, right? There's certain characters that always beat other characters. We could end up in, like, I mean, you played a lot of Overwatch, the rock, paper, scissors, right? So what do you think that balance is between, like, we can have it to where, if Wolverine's in the game, you can't play Groot, or we can give Groot tools to where he's not completely hard countered by those effects. Where's that balance? Where's it too far? Because you think they're kind of crossing that line, but are you okay with, like, people just need to swap to counter, or what do you think?
My opinion is that you don't have to buff their weaknesses, just make it what they're good at better if you feel like they're lacking in that area. So like Groot, instead of buffing his CC immunity, they could have just done something with his poke or with his walls. And I feel like buffing around his ability to take space around his walls would have been smarter than just making it so no characters can do anything to him if he's near that other wall. Now, I think the change would have been fine if he had to have LOS within the wall, but the fact that he can just place it like out of sight makes it an issue.
Gallus, when TeamCaptain said when everybody's OP, no one is, you made a very, very strong face, and I held on to that question for a while because I wanted to know what was going through your head there. Like, why
It's just like I agree that I think that they're doing it, they're balancing for that, but it's something I've heard repeated again and again and again. And to me it's just this phrase that people think sounds nice, and that's as far as they think about it, because it just, like, it's a hero shooter. Like you can't have Hulk and, I don't know, like Rocket in the same game and try to make these equally broken and have that be a successful task. It just doesn't seem like it. It's like a non-starter to me. I just don't see it. Like, constantly buffing stuff like TeamCaptain's talking about. It's just like, how is this doing anything other than further entrenching heroes into what we were picking them for, or their existing strengths or whatever? It's like if they add Unstoppable to Groot, when I'm looking at the roster, I'm probably still picking the same heroes against him, just less now. Like, okay, you can't Wolverine tackle him, you can't Bucky hook him, but we're still relying on probably Phoenix, I guess Bucky's spam because it's that good. Heroes like Moon Knight. I'm just thinking of like Central Park defense at this point, when he's tucking the wall behind, cover or anything like that. Yeah, man, it just, every time someone says, if everything's broken, no one is, like, I'm like, bro, like, I've heard this so many times, and it's just like they never say anything past that. It's like, okay, why do you mean that? It's like, oh yeah, well, if this guy's broken, I can just play this guy. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah. I
like,
think
if you can just swap, then like,
Yeah.
this is the problem they're accelerating. If you have to swap against this person because their matchup against you is now so ingrained and so like immovable, like what they're doing with the Thing, right? It's like he's been shoehorned into this like dive counter pick. So if you're on something that the Thing is good against, get off the hero is the option. Like, it's not like they introduced wiggle room for his worst matchups or made the Thing able to walk past 5 meters without cover. No.
Yeah, I feel like the best comp to pick into Thing is just like, don't even pick a tank. Just pick like 3 range damage poke, and like, you can't play the game. Like, yeah, actually, like, I haven't really seen it too much yet, but yeah, I think if you move too far down that road where it's like everything is really, really strong, I think in some ways it takes the skill element out of the game, because then you're just really relying on those broken mechanics rather than actually outplaying people. Like, case in point, support ults, like, obviously, like, very strong. You pretty much, a lot of games are just decided by who messes up their ult, right? And if it comes down to something that, like, you want it to come down to something that takes more skill than just like pressing a button at the right time, I feel like.
Can I add upon that? One of those things was the fact that, like, if you were trying to kill an invisible woman, if you could catch her after she went invisible, then she was vulnerable, and that was the skill. It was catching her during the double jump and trying to predict where she would go. But now, even if you do that, she just places a shield and then sustains anyway. I think things like that is the issue, is that you're just making it so there's less counterplay, there's less things to do in the neutral without just ults being involved, and that's my concern.
Yeah, exactly. You can argue that it's actually like worse for the invis players as well. It's like, how do you tell a good invis player from a bad one now after that change? Because there was the prediction element of her having to essentially use that invis before getting jumped, and that's been removed as like an important dynamic in her kit. Like, because now she can just press the fire and forget shield.
Yeah, so she gets like a second method of self-healing, and then that was like the only real window you had was when she was like, okay, now she's invis, let's kill her team while she just heals up and see when she comes out, right? That mini game's kind of like gone now. Like, invises are tankier than like actual tanks in some ways, like if you don't burst them out.
It would at least incentivize the invis to play near teammates, but now she's not really incentivized to do that because she can just place the shield wherever, you know?
Because I don't know how many of y'all have played any Thor this season or tried to play Thor, but I think like the change they did to Thor, that buff is actually one of the ones I actually like. Because to me, it's like it adds skill expression to the character, it adds options. It is a buff, but it's one that has more depth to it, as opposed to now Invis can put a shield on herself. Where is the skill expression there? Like you said, there's no outplay there. So I think like when they buff characters, or like when Groot's hiding a wall behind his wall behind a wall, he can't be CC'd. There's no skill expression there. I think buff should have some amount of skill expression, but they should try to do that as much as possible rather than press button, now you get more value than you did before. I think that's super, uninteresting and creates these stale gameplay loops that you're talking about.
I just wanted to comment on the Thor change. That Thor change has made the character like 10 times more fun. I was playing Thor just before the podcast, and I had 10 out of 10 placements won on my account.
Damn.
The character is so good now.
You
It's
can
actually
bully
so good.
mags. It's actually crazy fun. It's
I have a
actually so
clip
fun.
where I was kidnapping a mag 5 times, like on a loop. He just couldn't escape. I just kept looping him back round again. It was so funny.
Yeah, this guy's a Wolverine player, by the way, so he would love to change.
No, they keep adding all these like kidnapping characters. It's so great. I love it.
Yeah, you do play a lot of You play Angela. What do you think about Angela right now? Kind of
Honestly, I think Thor's the better Angela. Right now.
Really?
Really?
Yes. He has a better neutral. I think his kidnapping is stronger because you can do it every second. And
Just not
He actually can, bro. That's ridiculous.
yeah, he can.
Have you tried that Wolverine change, the ult change on the wall? I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, so a fun thing you can do with that is on certain maps, you can actually mark like the edge of a wall that's on a cliff and just suicide everyone off the point. So like, for example, you know, Araco first point, there's the massive pit. You can Wolverine ult their entire team into the pit from the point.
Hey, that's great.
That's gross. I had thoughts about the Thor change actually. It's something that was a head scratcher for me about it is it seems like a return to, I guess, what he was incentivized to do before they tried to rework him. Which is like to me, like if I was trying to be charitable about them reworking him in the first place, it was that they decided that either he didn't have a place in Brawls because they'd introduced the Thing and Emma, and they thought Thor was just never going to shine, so they wanted to move him in another direction, or that they found the kidnapping to be completely unacceptable. And now he's back there, but they've sort of half thrown out the entire hammer system to begin with. So I don't... I'm not 100% on.
Yeah, as someone who's played
Thor
since the beginning, they had no idea what they were doing with the rework. I'm not gonna lie to you, it made no sense. Like absolutely none. The whole change that they did, they've basically reverted or changed a lot of it because when they did that change, then they had to change it to where now you cancel Awakening early, you get some Thor Force back because it felt super clunky, which almost effectively turns it back to like the original version, just with slightly more uptime.
Yeah.
And they could have replicated the same result just by giving him more uptime on his abilities. So they just basically just did like a really weird, a roundabout balance way. Like it just didn't make sense. I don't necessarily. I just don't think that they maybe have anyone that's like a Thor main on their staff that like grinds the character consistently.
They're all poke players.
Yeah, Luna Snowmains. Yeah, no, but I actually mean that because the changes really don't make any sense to me. Like they never did, they still don't. I mean, I think he's kind of finally ended up in a good spot, but they had to they reworked him, then they buffed him, then they buffed him again, and now they added we finally got here, and we just didn't need to do all this. We just
You know what's missing from the power fantasy for Thor? It's the hammer throw. Like when I throw the hammer, I want to like throw it through everyone and pull it back towards like back through everyone. Why does it bounce off one person and come back? I feel like that's just so like.
It's such an unsatisfying. It's like so boring. It's just like used for cancels. That's been my number one critique of Thor is make it so you can do some cool thing like in the movies.
Yeah. And the fact that it's fucking ultimate. I mean, I know it's better than it used to be, but it's still one of the weakest ultimates in the game, in my opinion. It's so weak. There's such a high failure rate with this ultimate.
I feel like it got buffed.
Crazy to me because when they first buffed that, it was like reading the patch notes is like, is this actually good now? Bro?
Yeah.
Like, no.
I wish he could cancel it midair and just like maybe take half his ult charge back or something like that if he didn't commit to it. Something like that. You pop it because the problem is like
I like that.
You pop it, and if you bait out a defensive ult, then you slam down and then die. It happens all the time.
They should do that with Penny ult too. I feel like low key. I feel like her ult lasts way too long. I feel like being able to. That's one change I actually proposed like a couple seasons ago. Just like let her cancel her ult and then like, get some of the charge back, because have it be like almost like more of like a toggle where you use it when you need it sort of thing. Like I thought that could have been something cool on her, just to make her like more offensive minded, because I feel like part of the reason like Penny's win rate's so high is just because you just pick her on defense on like two or three maps, and you just can't play any. You have to play like a specific thing into her to you know, I don't know. I feel like Penny's OP. I'm just kind of changing the subject here. But
The strength of Penny really is the fact that she just makes it so you can't play like half the characters in the game.
yeah, I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on it, because we talked a lot about it last week before we get to onto like Rogue, like kind of just hitting all the tanks right now. Like, do we think Penny's OP?
No.
No,
Not OP, but she's just highly like.
she's OP well, against what I play. That's for
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't think she's not overpowered in terms of like, okay, she's like meta defining, but she's like overpowered in the way that she just forces the entire game to be played around the Penny.
Yeah.
So like a good example of this would be like Widowmaker in Overwatch. Widow would not be OP sometimes, but
Always
the strength of Widow is that she just completely changed the way the game was played, and everyone on the enemy team had to play around the Widow pick. Same thing with Penny. Like, everyone has to play around the fact that the Penny's in play. So if you're like a Hulk player, you're not playing Hulk.
Yeah.
It's unplayable. You're not having a good time. So that's the strength of Penny, in my opinion.
So going back to what you said then before, where you feel like they should just focus on buffing characters in a way that they only do what they do good, you would argue that they should not give more offensive power to Penny so that she could be played on more maps, and like maybe take some of her defensive power away, because they doubled down on it and gave her even more with like the shielding and healing her team. What are your views on that with Penny in particular? Do you feel that way about her? Like, because she's very defensive, and I think most people would say that her win rate's so high because you pick her on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think they should go that route, or keep her the way she is and just like she's going to be high win rate?
The reason why our win rate's so high is because of the randomness of the fucking like penny mines. Like, sometimes the penny mines will just kill your entire backline, and then you're like, okay, what just happened? Let's reset, and then it happens again. And then like everyone's just tilted because they're like, we're dying to a penny, this is so dumb, and then the game's over before you know it.
I've found
I
that
feel like
playing
that's-
against the same penny main multiple times in a row is very helpful. I tend to do better every time.
They do the same stuff, the same lineups, the same nest spots. You do become better depending on who plays it, for sure.
All right, what about you guys? Do you think like they should push her more in towards like an offense?
No, God, I have a lot to say about this hero, bro. Like before she got like her first buff, I think like when they, was it before or after? Maybe it was when they added the second nest with the team up. She already had that win rate that was a complete artifact. It was like, she's at like 59% or something, and it's like a head scratcher. Like, why is this happening?
It's like 65 with the team up. Yeah,
It's
crazy.
it's crazy.
And then they buff her again, and then they buff her again, and every single one of the buffs makes her better on first point defense. And where is everyone playing her? Like, this hero is, like, say what you will about the penny specialist, but this hero is really simple in that if you pick her up where this hero is bad, you know instantly, because someone shoots you and you die. Like, this hero can't be used anywhere other than in cover where she has time to set up. So people just play her on defense. Everyone knows you play her on defense. And that's kind of it. And then they go ahead and, like, last patch, nerf her by 50 HP. Where does that make it worse? When she's not in cover.
Right.
Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, if anything, you could argue that that's going to increase the win rate, like, as it is, because people are just going to play her on first point defense, and they get an even harder slap in the face when they're not doing that. So all the numbers are just going to be where she's good. Like,
I feel like there's a bit of inconsistency a lot of the times. Like with Gambit and Viz, their ult charge got nerfed by basically nothing. They're still some of the best healers in the game. Whereas like, I don't know. I feel like their philosophy on like you said, nerfing stuff. I don't know really where I'm going with this. Did you just want to go to like Rogue here?
Well, yeah. Well, real quick, let me add on something, and then I want to talk about the buffs too. But yeah, like, it to me it just seems strange how they just gave some characters like just inconsequential nerfs, like 50 HP on Penny. Like, what does that actually do? It doesn't even do anything. So I don't actually. Is that supposed to be symbolic? Like, are people supposed to read that and say, oh wow, I'm gonna stop playing Penny now because you nerfed her 50 HP? I don't really understand the reasoning for it. Like, I wish they would give a little bit more detailed reasoning for why they do certain changes, or maybe they'll, they tell us, maybe tease a little bit about what changes they're going to give in the future. Hey, we see that Penny has a high win rate. We're going to give her a small nerf here and maybe larger nerfs in 6.0. Like, that would be cool to know a little bit, instead of them just randomly nerfing her in something that doesn't matter at all and then not saying anything about it. In general, but I did want to talk really quickly. I want to hear y'all's opinions about the characters that were buffed, kind of massively. I think Torch, Ultron, and Luna. Those are the three that actually did get buffs. What do y'all think about that? What's your feelings on those three buffs and how they affect the game right now? You can start.
So I'll start with Ultron. Okay, Ultron. They decided to give him 2 drones, and I was thinking, okay, this is going to be problematic, but sure, let's try it out. But then they also gave him an entirely new thing where whoever he buffs with the drones, which used to just give them shields, gives them 10% damage boost and 20% move speed. And then I'm thinking, why didn't you just do one or the other and then tested to see if that made him strong? Why give him all this at once? Because now he's just became like a permaban character. He's obviously just overpowered because of that change. And he's actually stronger than he was when he was meta. So I'm very confused about the support design philosophy. I think the support design philosophy is going in a very crazy direction. Very crazy direction. And you can even see that's the case when you look at the top 500 leaderboard. Who's in that? It's all support players. Everyone in that leaderboard is playing support. Even the DPS players are playing support because they have to. And Ultron has just became another triple support pick, like Jeff the Shark was in Season 4.5. And I think he just enables a lot to happen when it comes to like DPS going on flank, put a drone on your tank, put a drone on your DPS, damage boost them, they go in, just insta-burst everyone. And then he's just flying in the sky like God, just looking down on everyone. Yeah. And he's practically unkillable because his Mantis is constantly healing him. His Invis is shielding him. Yeah. And then what do you do? Really, what do you do against that?
Yeah, there's not a lot of counterplay. There's really...
Just match it. That's the counterplay. You just match it. And I understand that Ultron is not a very favourable pick in the lower ranks because they don't really understand how to take advantage of it. And they don't really like playing triple support. But in high elo, it is very problematic. And I think the character, low-key, needs a slight rework. It doesn't have to be massive. It just needs to be something where they decide, do we give this character a lot of damage, or do we give him a lot of sustain and like utility to enable his team? I think you need to choose between them because you can't have both. If you have both, then this is what you get. You get a flying demon.
Yeah.
I will say, as an Ultron, the 2 drones does feel nicer. It gives you more options, whereas before, like if you give him 1 drone, but maybe it healed more, I think that kind of limits the amount of strategies you can do. But maybe I think they have to make a choice. I feel like the 2 drones definitely makes him more playable for like the average Ultron. But I mean, obviously, yeah, in higher rank he's a lot better. Gallus, do you think like what kind of counterplay do you think they could add to make Ultron like? Does he need a full rework or?
I've always been a fan of reworking him, but like he's a weird one. Like adding 2 drones is an immediate erasure of where this hero needs to make his decisions meaningfully. Like, okay, if you can just Venn diagram your entire team, this is what they're doing the change for. And I think, whatever happens to him in high ranks is a consequence, and maybe they look at it later. But it's like, it was the number one asked for change, I guess, by average people, because average players say, well, this guy doesn't heal enough, so don't play him. And in that way, I agree with that, but there are ways to go about that doesn't break the hero at his, skill ceiling, or which is, say what you will about his skill ceiling, but, even in high ranks, it's just, drone the right people and use the right click at generally the right time, and your damage boost, speed boosting to absolute insane heroes. One of them could be Daredevil. And, like I've been a fan of, oddly enough, I'm I quite like the Iron Man team up, basically because this hero sort of always broke when he was in triple support, because you'd have the utility and he'd do like too much damage essentially, or enable flyers. And when
Well,
using the Iron Man team up, you are making a choice to sacrifice your ability to deal damage for time. And if you do it at the wrong time, you're punished, and it makes you better at something new, which is also what the average players are asking for, and it's not that good. Like, I really like that team up because it's something that you can use to limit him at the ceiling and give the average players kind of what they want out of the hero.
Yeah, I mean, like a big reason he's like an issue on triple support. Which, before we stop talking about Ultron, I did want to ask you guys: do you think he's pickable now on double support? First of all, right now, Ultron.
I mean,
You
pickable.
can play
You
him.
could certainly pick him.
I feel like you can pick Ultron on double support and win like most of your games. Honestly,
You know what's really good? Ultron Rocket. That actually
Yeah.
goes crazy. I'm not even joking. People have been playing that, and it is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean that was getting picked in MRC like already
MRC,
before
yeah.
that. Yeah, I think I want to say Crazy Raccoons. I want to say, but it might have been someone they played against. But they played Ultron Rocket, and they would win with it occasionally. And that was before all these crazy buffs. So
Oh, damn. Yeah, like I've seen it a couple times, just like the Ultron in double support. It's just, I think now with the 2 drones and like the damage boosts and the speed boosts, it's gone past that point of the space you will get out of that effectively functions as another support anyway. Like, so yeah, you get more healing out of 2 drones, I guess, but like you just have this like omnipresence, and you control so much of the map that it's like the effective damage coming into your team is just less. Like,
yeah, he
You
just
guys
gets.
are Overwatch heads, right?
What's that?
Yeah.
You guys get Overwatch.
yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like if they gave Zenyatta 2 Harmony orbs, but instead of having like the skill of placing discords, your right click just gives everyone the damage to deal damage to whoever they want. So there's like zero thought process at all.
Right. Yeah.
and you can fly and have a speed boost for yourself if you mess up with where you're positioning. Like,
That gives you shields, and your right click gives you shields.
Okay, so what about Torch then? Torch, Ultron, now meta again. Torch buffs, is he in a good spot? I feel like he's kind of has to play closer range now to get maximum damage. I do see Torch is playing a bit more aggressively because they changed his damage fall off to 20 meters now, I believe, instead of 30.
Yes.
So he has to be a little closer, but he does more damage now. Do we think... I think that was a change in the right direction. Curious to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts are that Torch is definitely good now, but I don't like what they buffed. Now, hear me out. I think the thing that makes Torch fun is using the prisons to, like, control space, and also to use the slam. I think the slam and the right clicks is the most fun part of the kit. The most boring part is the shotgun. I wish they had buffed him more around that, rather than just turning him into like a hit scan, basically. Because they've basically tightened the spread so much that his primary fire is less of a shotgun and is more of just like a tiny little cone thing. It's kind of like Blade's gun, if people use Blade, where it just all goes to the one place at a certain point. I don't really think it makes the character feel fun. The fun part was like flying around super fast, diving in, going super aggressive on their backline. I feel like you could do that without making him feel oppressive or OP. One of the ways that you could do that would be removing the shields on Slam. But yeah, I think he's good, but I don't really like the way they changed them personally.
Makes sense. I think I'm on the... I don't really understand exactly what they're doing around Torch and Ultron and some of these flyers, because I feel like we just left a flyer meta, and it felt like they tried really hard to get us out of it, and then now they're kind of dangerously trying to bring us back into it or drag us back into it. And one of the things they literally said in their patch notes is that when the flyers were not meta, it opened up meta diversity, because there's like a lot of characters that don't interact with flyers very well. And then they go and just buff them again and make them still good at what they were doing before. So I just don't understand. It's like they're like changing their mind, or they just want things to be different for different sake. I don't really understand why.
I think Torch is fine. I think that the changes they did kind of. I get what you're saying, Team Captain, but I do like the idea of making some flyers have to play closer up, and that was one of the big things I said was you don't have to worry about the lack of counterplay with flyers if they don't do as much damage from farther away, so they actually have to come up close to be lethal to get kills on people. So I kind of like what they did. I just think the reason Torch is kind of a little too strong right now is mainly just because Ultra, like a result of Ultron and triple heal stuff. That's just like my opinion, and I'd be curious to hear Mike's above you thoughts on it, but
True.
That's just where I'm at with Torch. What about Luna though, guys? Luna, she's kind of crazy now.
Hold on.
Oh yeah,
I got some stuff to say about Torch as well.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Like I'm not sure if I disagree with Team Captain, because it sounds like you're also saying, like, you're saying both that the fun part of the kit is kind of the more keep away stuff, I guess, like using the prisons and the slam, but also diving in, going in their backline as well. Like, part of that's the shotgun. I think the shotguns, I agree with you partially on the shotgun. I think if they wanted to incentivize him being closer, you could probably actually argue that they increase the damage of the shotgun harder and even increase the spread, or even give him like more shields when he slams in and move him even like harder towards being up close. Like, out of all the patch, I thought the Torch changes were good, and then I got to Ultron and I'm like, fuck, they did it at the same time.
I thought the
wanted
exact
to see
same
where
way.
Torch would land.
I could see that.
Yeah. But I thought, like, out of all the changes, this was like the most thoughtful to me, because of how uninteractive flyers are. They have actively gone and taken one of the flyers and said, this guy needs to play closer, and that's like just incentivizing them to be closer instead of being like, let's give everyone a flight meter, everyone ends up standing on the ground or whatever, like some hard rework to flyers. That's a really good change, and it's also like cheap to implement.
They probably could have gone a little harder on it, though. They probably could have gone a little harder on it, because I don't think it does incentivize you for being close, but they could have definitely done more, because I think it's only, what was the change? It was like it starts at 45 meters instead of 65 meters or something like that.
30 to 20. It's pretty short.
Yeah. I think they should have made it really short. Like, if you want him to be incentivized from getting close, you could make him, maybe effective from 10 meters or less. But then maybe you give him, like, an extra slam or something.
Would that,
I
feel
think
good?
people love slamming in and flying around.
Interesting. So
I would probably give him like legit, like maybe slightly less damage on the slams, give him 2 charges on a slam, and then make it so he's only 10 meters, 10-meter range. So
yeah, I mean, he would have more of a clear-cut identity,
because he's not sitting up here all game. Like, this is what people don't want. They want, if he's down here, like, if a Torch kills me 5 feet away from me, that's okay. Yeah, I had a chance to fight back and I fucked up, or he outplayed me. But if he slowly kills me in a place that I can't interact with him, that's what people just hate. I think that's what people hate about Ultron too, and triple support. It just feels like you're not interacting.
It's also why Iron Man is probably one of the more balanced flyers, I would say, is because his beam is like his main damage, so he has to be up close. It's like pretty obvious with it. But
his damage is also honest, because Iron Man can't just one tap you randomly with a shotgun. Like, it's a constant amount of damage, or just like little burst of damage from his like projectiles, which doesn't feel as impressive.
Not as good as well. So like, if he messes up, like, he will get punished harder than the others.
Okay. I guess the last thing is Luna. How do y'all feel about Luna? What's y'all's take on it? Maybe Luna kind of is a little under the radar because she's still not as broken as Invis. I think most people would probably agree, but.
Okay, so
let's just recap what she got here. So Luna has now a snowflake for herself that gives her 10% damage and healing, and then 10% of the healing she does applies to herself. So she can basically patty cake with tanks now, almost. Like, she doesn't even need another healer. Like, she gets a decent amount of passive healing just kind of by going where she wants. Like, I've seen dive Lunas. It's crazy. Yeah. And it's like worked. It's worked. Gallus, do you want to go?
That hero's a DPS, bro. Like, she
does.
It's gonna break at some point.
She like 2 taps. It's crazy.
Yeah. You don't usually go into a whole lot of support players. A whole lot of Lunas that can aim well.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. It is like a little bit true though.
Luna's deceptively hard to play. Like I've tried her. I'm like, yeah, okay, you got to aim on her. I get it. But her freeze now is basically just like point and click. Like it's instant.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in
It's
a way,
insane.
it's great. It's like she has a skill ceiling, bro. Like that's nice to see on the roll at least. It's hard to talk about her without literally bringing up every support. It's like season 5 happens,
Yeah.
they drop Gambit. Let's be honest, you know, they dropped a guy with 9 tools in his kit, and you know they also wanted him to be meta. And what do you do with that when you compare him to some other supports who literally just don't have as many tools? So they're gonna have to start adding tools or start buffing parts of the kit that weren't designed to be so strong, and then they start breaking in ways that they didn't expect. Look, I think the Self-Flake, it's another erasure of some method of counterplay for the backlines as well. And I don't know, I might circle back on it. I want to hear what TeamCaptain has to say about it as well. But yeah.
Well, they even said on the patch notes, so like, we're sorry. We know we're over buffing her, but you know,
Yeah.
we released Gambit, so we got to make them all equal. Gambit's so OP, gave him an excuse to buff the other supports. It's that's kind of what I feel like happened. It's like, oh well, Luna's clearly underperforming compared to Gambit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
compared
think,
to Gambit and Invis.
I think this might be I think this is arguably Luna's strongest state. You might still say that like 12-second ultimates may be a little stronger, but I think like especially in the neutral, I think this is probably Luna's strongest state, and she's not even a top like 2 support, which
Right.
is insane.
It's insane.
By the way,
they're doing leapfrog on the supports. Like, oh, you get a buff. Okay, well now we got to put this one even further. They just keep going. They won't stop. I don't know what it is.
what do you think, TeamCaptain? You know,
Okay, so like instead of bringing the other supports down to Luna, they decided let's bring Luna up as well, and I think that's just a crazy thing to do considering the circumstances. The Snowflake, okay, sure, whatever, right? That's what I was thinking at first when I first heard about it, and then I heard they slapped 10% damage boost on it.
Yeah,
And I'm
just
thinking,
why not?
where did that come from? That was never even an identity for the Snowflake in the first place. Like, if you give a Snowflake to your DPS, are they getting 10% damage boost? No. Why is she getting 10% damage boost for
Why-
giving it to herself? Where did that come from?
They could have just added it to her
No,
numbers
no,
too.
they're-
It's like, remember the
Yes.
Snowflake? Like, what are we incentivizing low ranked players? But like, oh, I
just-
get to use this OP ability, so
It's so
I'm using
random.
Snowflake for buff instead of just like it's insane. It's madness. I just can't believe what they were thinking. I crashed
And it
out
was
when I read
already-
those patch notes.
It was already dumb to give herself Snowflake because it's just unnecessary. It removes counterplay. She's supposed to be diveable in some sort of way. And then also they gave her the faster snowball. Now, the faster snowball removes so much cool stuff that you could do before to counterplay the Luna. So when I was blade one tricking like crazy for an entire season, I used to be able to like react deflect it, and that's like a short timing. Now it's impossible unless you like actually predict the future,
Yeah, you got to precast.
which is super annoying. Like you gotta understand, like deflecting on cap was already nigh impossible against like good players. Like I was playing into Zaipe, and this guy would just like be turned around and he'd cast a snowball behind so you couldn't see her hands, and then throw it back, and then it's like, oh well, shit, and I'm
Yeah.
frozen.
That's
Now you
a
don't
really
even
good
have to do
point.
that.
It takes
You
away
don't
like
have
a
to do
little mini game. One of the big reasons I like the combat in Marvel Rivals is because everything has a cast time of roughly like half a second ish for a lot of ults, and pretty much every ult's interruptible if you like do it frame perfect. And yeah, that's just like one less cool interaction kind of just removed from the game because I guess Luna needed buffs. It was too hard, I guess.
I think my. Okay,
You
go,
go,
go.
Mills, sorry.
Okay, well, I was gonna say because I'm trying to remember back in Overwatch and why like the backlines fights like because I loved playing Ana as a support in Overwatch, and I remember the backline fights like they felt intense, they didn't feel unwinnable, and I feel like they felt fair from like both sides. But the difference, in my opinion, is like Ana had single use things, like she had a nade that could do damage or heal herself in a single instance. She had a sleep that could do something in a single instance. Versus self Snowflake or like putting a shield on yourself, that's consistent value. That's like constantly being given to you the entire engagement. It's not like as Ana, if you fucked up your nade or you fucked up your sleep, you're dead. Like that's it. It was a single instance, and I think like we need more single instance skill shots or single instance form of sustain, not non-stop forms of sustain, which is what we
Yeah.
have like across the entire roster and supports.
Yeah,
Like,
having a cooldown to defensive utility, I think, is really important in a game like this because you pretty
'Cause then
much
they have
just
to time
eliminate
it.
a neutral at that point even further, right? Like tracking cooldowns isn't. You don't really track cooldowns against Invis. You're just. I mean, like they're always up. And she's always healing, right? Like
Yeah. Like if
it's
the
that's
Ana
a-
used her nade aggressively, then she wouldn't have it defensively for like a long time, and that was like an important dynamic. But like it's still, she could still technically count. Like if she hit the sleep dart, she could like counterplay it to build up her cooldowns back. But there was windows, and yeah, exactly like you said, there's literally 0 windows. It's literally the only way to burst through an invis is you need nonstop pressure, like constant repetitive pressure from multiple people.
or
because
like
it's
a
just
damage
consistent.
reduced.
All of it is just consistent. The snowflake is just all nonstop healing. The shield's constantly healing everyone around it. Even like stuff like totem, I think is like it just lasts. It's not like a flash. It's like constantly on until you break it. Like these are just consistent sustains, and I think that it reduces the skill, it reduces the timing, it reduces the counterplay. I think that that's like the wrong direction for a lot of these backlines, to be honest.
I feel like the game should work like a flowchart. So like, if Luna misses snowball, then you go down to the next part, which is, does Luna get peeled or does Luna not get peeled? And then it's she dies or she survives. If she hits the snowball, then she gets peeled or kills. It should work like that. But now it's like, Luna misses snowball. Now she self snowflakes, takes the 1v1. Does she have the aim to do it? And then she might win.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's
like,
just
there's
to
go
build
ahead.
on that, like it's also like for any Luna players out there, it's also like not that simple as well. It's like I don't think anyone's saying they want the hero to hinge around this one skill shot that I guess for the average player is hard to hit, and a lot of the time you don't get to do it, but you want to play your hero, right? It's not. It's the flowchart isn't just that, right? It's like if Luna doesn't hit the snowball, right? Was she in a position where she was considering maybe she might not hit the snowball and she's able to get her sprint up and get out?
Right.
Like every interaction like that and stuff like even though if you consider her current state now, the freeze is just better and faster, like something has been lost by making it faster, because stuff like having a long wind up or a hard to hit skill shot and that also creating some sort of mini game of counterplay creates this well of depth that artificially is making like hundreds of potential hours of depth and stuff that just pulls people in and really gets them enjoying learning the character. And that doesn't have to be something that you just erase so that they just get to feel good or whatever. They can start actually like riding the skill curve and stuff like that. And every player can be pulled into that. They don't have to erase that. And that can be good for everyone in the player base. Like not just because, oh, I died on Luna once and that felt bad.
Because then you could look at like other parts of her kit and maybe do something like you know, I don't know, whatever. Sky's the limit. But, you know, I totally agree. But do we think we're pushing more towards... I mean, obviously, triple heal is really good. And I forgot I wanted to ask you, Team Captain, about Blade right now. I really wanted your thoughts on Blade and where you think he's at with all these healers being so good. And then, Gallus, I'm going to ask you about Fantastic after that. So
Okay.
just get that ready in the back burner. So where are we feeling? You said Blade, Team Captain, was kind of OP last time. And that was like 2 or 3 buffs ago last time you were on here. Do we still feel the same way?
I think Blade has the potential to be great, but the meta right now does not favor him at all.
Interesting.
And I think that's just because of how prevalent Groot is. I don't know if you guys know about this, but they actually like, I don't know if it's a bug or a shadow nerf, but any character that's CC immune, you can't anti-heal. So like before you used to be able to kill Luna through ult, but now you can't because she's CC immune. And that applies to Groot. If he has his big wall up, you can't put that anti-heal on him with your shotgun, which is obviously just a buff against Blade. But
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Is
by
it because
way.
the boop is tied to the C?
I don't know.
The boop is the healing reducing, and they're
no,
like, tied
because
to
the ult also doesn't apply anti-heal.
It has to be because of Gambit
Huh.
is the reason they did that, because they just were afraid of everything being antied all the time. But I don't really understand
That's
why.
I mean that's a pretty
the-
big nerf. That's a pretty big
fear of
nerf.
anti is kind of wild considering how delicate they are with Blade, and then they just dropped Gambit in the state he was.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand. Like, it's so funny. I've been like, ever since Blade came out, they were like giving him 1 sword damage per buff or some dumbass shit like that. And then
a couple times.
you'd look at like Invis, and then she's got like a full page of buffs, and then you're like,
It was actually so
What?
funny because the last time you were on the pod, this was right after Daredevil was released, and they added like the anti on Namor and the anti on Venom, and you said that you didn't like how they were creating, you know, similarities in characters' kits, and they didn't have like certain effects that were specifically for heroes. You thought that
Well, that made Blade
should have
unique.
right. He had that specific effect, and I think it's funny that like soon after that they were like, "Fuck you, TeamCaptain. We're just gonna release Gambit," and he's gonna have like every nonstop antis. Like they literally, yeah. I guess they're like, no one gets a unique mechanic. I guess I don't. That seems. It feels like Blade should at least get the strongest version of it, right? Like the strongest version of
doesn't.
anti,
Yeah.
That's the
and he
crazy
has
part,
like
yeah.
probably the weakest version of anti.
Yeah, that's really sad. Well, okay, so when's a good time to pick him right now? Is there a good time? If it's not
a
triple.
good time to pick him is like if your team wants to play 2-2-2. I wouldn't play him as a solid DPS. He just doesn't have like enough presence. Like you'd rather just play Bucky or Psylocke or Phoenix, and then you're just doing 10 times more. To be honest,
Is that because
I
you
think
need follow-up damage with the heal reduce to like burst people out? and
his
so you need
his
more
poke
damage?
isn't consistent. Like on the shotgun, it's like I can randomly just 2-tap someone, and they're like, "What the fuck just happened to me?" Or I could just like shoot someone multiple times and they're taking like no damage.
He's
He's more favored than Brawl.
5 times in a row.
Yeah.
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 I am Avenue said that there's just a ton of no regs on him. I don't know if you've experienced that, but that's what he said. He said it's like non.
There's no regs, and then there's something really weird that can happen where basically the bullet that initially comes out will hit, and so will the shotgun pellets, and you'll hit for like 240 damage. It's a very, very, very sweet spot.
So it's
Very sweet spot.
It's like a less consistent, like old Roadhog's right click, right?
Yes, exactly. That is.
With Roadhog's right click, it felt like you could eventually like get consistent with it, but it doesn't seem that way with Blade. It seems like it's just utter random.
Do they spray out randomly? Like like it's not the same animation every time? Is it actually
No, it's
like
the same
that?
pattern, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
I'm almost certain that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if it wasn't. All right. Did you have any thoughts on Blade, Gallus? I figured I'd ask you about Mr. Fantastic if you didn't want to.
Yeah. I mean, just on Blade, it's like as a like a non-Blade player, it's like I'd always hop in because I'm interested in the hero. Like I love at least the idea of the hero, maybe not the execution so far, but it felt like this last buff to the sword damage actually felt like now the sword to me is noticeable just a little bit. Like I'm like they might have reached a sweet spot for it. Like that's really like it for me. The rest of it, I got a lot of thoughts on Blade and like his design and everything, but like if you want to talk about Fantastic.
Yeah, because you play a lot of Fantastic, right? That's
I'm
your
a
main
Fantastic
grinder.
man. I love that hero.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
want to start this by saying I think the changes kind of didn't really help him. I think he's about the same or maybe even a little worse.
Yes.
Which is like I was getting burned at the stake for saying that when I was going over the patch notes last patch. I'm like, yeah, I think he's going to like take more percentage damage from people like Wolverine and Iron Fist.
Yep.
Obviously, but he's going to be more healer reliant. And I also didn't. I know he gains the health and he keeps it, but when you use the wall, now you don't maintain the bonus health anymore. So you can't do an instant cancel into a wall and maintain that, like, and also you can't stay into the range form. So I'll let you talk about it because that decaying shield just disappears immediately now. So you keep the health, but if you had lost that, I don't like it. I don't like the direct. Like, so yeah, you don't like it either. That's
I guess the question kind of is like he can be healed in big mode is the big change really, and it's like, well, did he need more staying power when supported? Is that really like why you have this hero or anything? Like, there are a lot of tanks for that. There are a lot of tanks that can do that. I think you're probably getting crucified over your opinions for the hero because average ranks have thought this hero is broken for a long time. I think, to be honest, I'm kind of expecting his win rate to decline if they don't touch the hero, because
He's
this
under
kind of happened last
50%.
time he was
in
he was
Celestial
considered-
Plus,
Yeah. He was
which he was higher before the patch. He was like at
he's under
51 or
50% right
52.
now.
Yeah, I think. And Quackly,
Because I looked at this, it fluctuated a little bit, because I was like really like, I don't want to like I wanted to plant my flag on it, and then I held back on posting a video, but like, you could actually say that at the skill ceiling, this hero is completely unchanged or worse, and then in the low ranks where he was creating issues for players, that's been entrenched.
Yeah.
So what was the purpose of this? Like, some people actually think this hero is broken. A good amount of them. Like, you get to like gold or something, they don't know what this hero does, and they don't know what to do against him. And at the skill ceiling, every
I
time
think
he
his
gets a
skill
buff,
ceiling went
people are like,
down.
"Oh,
I
this
agree.
hero's back." They don't know how they learn for like a month, like sort of Fantastic's rhythm or whatever, and then the ranged DPS players are back on their game, and they absolutely destroy him. And
he's still
falls down again. It's
he's
like,
not
it
good in the
wasn't-
meta. Oh, sorry for talking
No.
over you. Yeah, like
No.
like Poke, he gets destroyed by Poke. I agree with you though. His skill ceiling is definitely lower now. Like, he has less options, and he's more reliant on healers to do stuff.
Which was bad for like the guy who walks around basically and has noodle arms and doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's like, if you have less options and less flexibility in that state, then every time you're against someone with a gun, what do? You die and swap.
Yeah.
Basically, that dynamic of the change they made, where his big form is no longer bonus health and it's base health. The big argument I saw everyone making was, now you get this burst heal in application, because what they've incentivized you to do with it, because you can also turn into the fridge mode, like the block form from the big form, is that you need to hoard cooldowns for this mode. And if you're transforming to heal, you are at the back end of an engagement. That's where you're getting value from this, and you need to insta-cancel and get out because you're out of cooldowns. Like, that's what's happening 9 times out of 10. So it's removed wiggle room, and against any hard matchup, it's the same or worse, because you would be incentivized to insta-cancel your big mode and keep the bonus health to do more in your little form. And your little form's just worse now. Like, that's what it was. It was a nerf to the little form, and he didn't need to be better at what he was already good at if he's getting heal slub down main and he's stalling on card.
Yeah.
Like, the hero was already fantastic.
What would
at that.
your buffs, if you could buff him in any way you wanted, how would you do it? Like, to make him a little maybe deeper in that skill expression, stronger in high elo, but not busted in low elo. What would you do? What would be your big changes?
I wanted him to be more interesting, or just have more options or skill expression at the ceiling, because if he was considered to be too good in low ranks, then exactly what you need to do is make changes that don't make him better there, which was why this was a bit of a head scratcher for me, because at his skill floor interactions, he goes big, runs down onto the objective, gets healed by a rocket, and now he's stronger in that situation, right? So why did they do that? Like, I wanted, when you grab 2 people with the grab, I wanted that to do more damage, because what's the incentive to do that? You can apply the 1 second of CC that's probably only going to affect one hero, because you can only really reliably grab dive tanks and apply it. That should do more damage, because you're sacrificing the ability to pull someone towards your team and then boop them with another ability towards your team by grabbing 2 people. Like, that should be something that's an interesting trade-off.
That ability is such a gimmick. Like, that choice.
Yeah.
It's so gimmicky.
I find it odd, because it's like it's almost like they're encouraging you to play closer to your healers, when the thing he's best at is just stalling out the enemy healers, and just like stalling and just being like, he can dive really well now. I feel like he's not that good at peeling. You're not supposed to peel on Fantastic. I feel like that's probably where they should have gone with him. Like, maybe make his shield on teammates do more or something.
That was my other thought, is that you know, if we consider, let's try not to make him better for average players or like low ranks, to just make him just flat good. You know, if they wanted
that's a timing thing
give
there.
more shields for jumping to people, but not give him more to himself, or even reduce a tiny bit for jumping to teammates on himself, and give more, maybe that's something. But like, I think playstyle wise, like there seems to be a reduction in creativity, but you are sort of doing the same stuff. So on this hero, you basically set up a slight off angle from your team, probably where players like Psylocke players want to be coming in, because you have the stats to just threaten them. And on these angles, you also have that view to cleave everyone on the enemy team and build your fast ult. And you're in range to jump to a support if they suddenly get threatened by, someone super fast, I don't know, Star-Lord, or maybe a Phoenix took a spot somewhere, whatever.
When do you pick him? When's a good time to pick him now? Just for everyone
Pick him
watching.
everywhere, bro.
Run him down.
I actually
Fantastic
really like
spammer.
Central Park defense on him, man. It's like the perfect range for everything, like what I just described. You can jump to all the angles people want to take. You're close enough to your team to help them. You have good vantage points on the enemy team to cleave all of them. Aside from that, it's just like if you're on longer range maps, just being more patient. Every cooldown you get forced out is less mileage you have to walk, basically.
Coach Mills,
I just pick him everywhere, man. Like I love the hero, but it does not work everywhere. Yeah,
right. We're almost an hour in. We still haven't talked about Rogue yet. How much? Are you guys good on time? Like, can we keep you a little bit?
I'm free forever.
yeah, I'm good.
Okay, just
All right,
making sure.
3-hour pod. All right, this is 1 hour done. But yeah, I know that basically, at least Captain, Coach, and Team Captain, we've all been pretty much grinding Rogue. I mean, I've been sick for the past week, but when I did play with grinding Rogue, I want to hear you first, Team Captain. How do you feel about Rogue overall? How do you feel about her strength? How do you feel about her meta implications, her potential? What do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna start off and say she's so fun. The character is very fun. The kit
Agreed.
feels good, and I think there's the best thing is to look for fun. I think, and she doesn't feel unfun to play against. At least me personally, I don't think she's that oppressive to play against.
She does as Hulk. She's another Hulk counter, but apart from
Yes.
that, yeah,
Yes. Hulk players are always getting drafted though. I think the character is OP as well, and a lot of people
interesting.
will soon realize that she's actually busted. And the reason why is because there is limitless possibilities in what you can do with this character. Like, there's about 10 different plays that you can make with the ability steal in one team fight. Like, for example, let's say you're playing against like Groot, you got Adam, you got like a Spider-Man, you got like a Mantis, right? I could grab the Groot, place this wall down behind him, I've walled off the Groot gets killed by my team, right? That's one play. Another play is, maybe they have an ult coming up. I can go in their backline, grab the Adam, dash back, soulbound my entire team and save them from the ult. I can grab the Mantis, stun her, insta-stun her again, and then my teammates just headshot her and kill her. There's like so much stuff that you can do with this character. It's actually insane. And I was playing Rogue the entire day today, and the amount of things that I did that I didn't realize was potentially possible was just crazy. I can't wait to see what people will do like 2 weeks from now with the character, because I think she's got like such a high skill cap. And the thing is, this is the best part of the character in my opinion. The more things that they add to the game, the more characters they add, the higher the skill cap is going to get for Rogue, because there's going to be more stuff that you can actually do with the character, which I think is very fun. It's cool for a tank to have that.
I love Rogue.
Tank players need that as well. Like, whatever they do with Rogue in the next couple of patches, like, netties, please, like, just like keep that alive, that aspect of the kit. Everything just Team Captain just said, just like keep that as part of the kit, especially the Vanguard players. A lot of them like have that, self-sacrificing part of their personality. They need the depth. Just leave that as part of the kit. Don't let, someone in silver be like, oh, I can't get anything done with her. I don't have a shield, etc. Just, yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of the community that is like saying that she's like the worst character ever. I don't know where that even
really?
came from. Yeah,
Really?
it's mostly like people on Reddit, like low elo players, I believe. Or
I
maybe
understand why they're
it's-
saying that though. I understand.
No, I think it
completely
might
get
not
it.
even be like DPS players like trying to play her and like they don't know what's going on, or like she
not
definitely plays. Her setups are completely different from like almost any other tank. Like the tank that I would probably compare her the most to is maybe Thor, but even her setups are even.
I
Like,
would
further-
say she's actually pretty similar to Hulk. She has a lot
I mean,
of
well,
good
yeah,
counters,
I think Hulk, Rogue, and Thor are like the off tanks, quote unquote. We don't
Sure.
really have an off tank role, but they kind of feel that way.
There's definitely some matchups that are bad for her, like Thing, Bucky, still tough to deal with, but she has answers. Like she can still outplay matchups like that. And the cool thing about Rogue is you can kind of fight wherever you want. Like you can dive with her, like grab a DPS, get that 20% damage boost. You just dive their backline, and then like they have to come back and be like she has so many options. I do think that her ultimate is really interesting. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Obviously, if you pair Rogue and Gambit right now, that combo is insane. Like you just dive. Yeah, it's that you got to ban Gambit, I think, right now just because of that. I don't think Rogue is really that OP though on her own. I think she's like pretty balanced. She's definitely like on the strive. I would say she's probably like A, maybe S. Like once people start to get good, but Gambit Rogue is just like what do you do? What do you do?
Doesn't it like constantly the ult constantly proc the explosions like?
Yeah, and then you drain their ult so they can't ult, so they have no counter.
They can't counterplay. Yeah,
I don't.
Are you guys not even talking about the team up? The team up is insanely busted.
Oh yeah, that too.
The team up is absolutely insane.
I have
a big issue with that.
Damage, like it's so much.
And you heal your teammates. Anyone that goes in with you is getting constantly sustained by your punches. I think that is like it has to be at least top 3 team ups in the game.
Yeah, I feel like you have so many options on this character. I love what they did with her. I guess it's her uppercut or upper kick or whatever, where you're floating and then you get to re-engage or disengage. It reminds me a lot of like Doomfist in a lot of ways, where you're like, you slam in, you can get some value, then you can uppercut and re-engage or back out, and you just have so much mobility options. It just feels really satisfying to be able to do all that. And then like y'all said, like with Gambit and Rogue, I just think Gambit can help you kind of get a leg up on tempo for your ultimates as a team, because you're building up a whole bunch of ultimates with it. And then Hurl just lets you push them further behind. So like the combination of the two characters, I think you can just have more ults like throughout the whole game. Like more team fight wins, more ult, like successful ult trades. Like the enemy team is going to have less ults overall. There's going to be a lot of times where like they don't get their ults in time to use them on this point, and then like they get to use them in the next fight where it doesn't matter because you already took the objective, but y'all are building up another like non-interactable combo, so it just like puts them always on this back foot. I just think
I mean, like if supports use their ult, sometimes I'll just like ult the tank if I think they're about to ult and just try to like win that way. Wait, Team Captain, what's your favorite ability to steal? Curious. Like
favorite ability to steal?
Yeah, maybe not what you think's the best, but like your favorite. I personally just like taking the dash reset.
Oh no, it's definitely Spider-Man, bro. You get to uppercut. You get to uppercut.
Okay, really fun.
You get to fucking do some crazy combos. I like it a lot. But
you know what I do when I'm playing against Spider-Man? This is all I do when I'm playing against Spider-Man. I did this to a guy today. I was playing a game of Rogue, and I killed him 3 times by I grab him, and then I just instantly use the uppercut to kill him. I don't even use it anywhere else. You just down him, then insta uppercut, and he dies. There's nothing they can do as well if you grab them.
It's super fun taking that uppercut and running to a tank and like doing some crazy shit to them with the Spider-Man uppercut. It's just kind of fun, but probably not that
let you do like a lot of combos for sure.
The Daredevil steal is really fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
You get the move speed and the damage resist or whatever, and if you take them out, you get the reset on that. Like as long as you have the ability, so you can dash again. Like that one's like top 3 for me.
I think my favorite one is Luna. Like hot take.
Oh, to freeze? Yeah.
Because I just grab her, then freeze her, and then kill her. That's
it's actually
it's so true.
There's
Gambit is very good as well. Gambit.
Yeah,
Gambit feels good
because it's just the anti. Yeah.
There's
Invis is good too, actually, with the pull.
Oh yeah, I made a play with Invis where I pushed both their healers out of their own Invis ult and won a game because of that while our punny was ulting. It's so satisfying to make outplays on this character.
Like there's so much you can do. It's insane. Yeah. Like your brain will expand playing this hero. I swear.
Oh man. Anything else with Rogue, Team Captain?
Yeah, I have 2. Well, like a couple things that they could change to make the character better. So one thing is that like the right click punch that like lunges you forward.
Yeah.
I use that as a mobility tool. I don't use it for any other purposes.
Yeah.
The cooldown on it is pretty long as well, 6 seconds. And
you don't use it for burst? It's good burst damage if you absorb.
Well, it's good burst, but it's more. I use it more for gap closer.
You use it to cancel after your second primary, right?
Cooldown. Yeah.
Because it's like 1, 2, and then that third one comes really slow. So I usually do.
Yeah,
1,
that
2.
one comes slow. I agree. but like there's so many people that can just get away from you. And I'm going to talk about what you were just talking about there. So basically, what they were trying to do with it was they were trying to make like an empowered punch, like Doomfist, where you block damage and that amplifies the punch that you do after you
It's my
block.
favorite ability on her. I love it.
But the problem is that it takes way too long to fill up that bar. And by the time you filled up the bar, you can no longer block. So they need to change the numbers on that, or alternatively, make the block longer.
You just got to int harder,
ratio
team
is
captain.
off.
You just got to take more damage, bro. I dive into their whole team and charge that bitch. I'm
Like,
fucking
he's not
Goku
surviving
with
that.
I
If you play against the Hawkeye, you
recklessly.
get it. Like
Yeah.
Hawkeyes will give you it straight away, but like
Right.
I don't know, just sometimes it takes too long. It takes too long.
And then
I
you
get
need to
you.
use the punch to leave. Yeah, you just can't.
They're definitely.
I definitely haven't played as much of her as you guys probably, but yeah, it seems like. Are you ever able to actually fully fill up the green bar?
Oh yeah.
Very
Yeah.
rarely, in my
Okay,
opinion.
Yeah,
in my
to me,
opinion.
it seemed like
yeah,
the
you're
ratio
able
was
to
just
do
a
it,
little bit
Kevin.
off.
I don't know.
My KDA on Rogue isn't that high, but I top damage like regularly on her. I'm my Rogue account. I'm only up to GM1 so far, so I still don't. I still haven't played in like the higher rank games yet, but so I'll get back to you on that. But I dive really hard on her, and I'm able to get out. I love using the kick to, see if I want to keep
kick,
going
yeah.
or just like fly out and then kick them as they're running away. I use it as a disengage tool, actually.
It's a really good like just decision tree like ability. The kick, I think it's great. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think honestly let's put balance to the side for a second. But I think the past three, as far as player experience, the past three releases, Daredevil, Gambit, and Rogue have all been really great from the user's perspective. I think that they have been good kits that have dynamic skill expression, that feel fun to play. Maybe not fun to play against, but just as far as like living that hero fantasy, I think they've done a great job. And I'm actually it's definitely a step up from like Jean and Emma and some of these other characters that I
agree.
Ultron and stuff like that.
I was not expecting to like Rogue as much as I did. She's my number 2, like easily. She's right up there with Hulk for me, which is like that's saying something. She's great.
Yeah, because I when Gambit came out, I thought I liked him so much. I was like, oh man, I want to main this guy. But then Rogue comes out, and I actually like her better. And that's crazy that they did that back to back.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about as a group is that Daredevil, or not Daredevil, freaking Deadpool got announced. We're getting Deadpool DPS, another hype release to kind of top off all these hype releases that we've had in a row. That's going to be a DPS. How do y'all feel about the releases? Any hopes for Deadpool? Any thoughts about it? I think that's going to be a pretty big release for sure.
But can I respond to your view on the last three hero releases?
Yeah.
I think I agree with you on that. I think Daredevil actually, I think his design gets limited by the state of balance in his kit. I think you don't make that many meaningful decisions on Daredevil currently because I think once you reach the skill floor, a lot of his gameplay is button mashing. Like it's free to use the chain or the throw ability, so I don't think the choice between them is that meaningful either. I think they should differentiate those more, whilst making some kind of a nerf, I think, to his current numbers. But in terms of the other two, I made a video talking about Gambit. Is that this should be probably a bit of a wake up call to the community. It's they did it. I will say they did it in a brute force way, but they introduced a hero to the support roster who can go off the main lane, who can take interesting positions and make plays. And this is something that gets disincentivized from a lot of base heroes that wouldn't in other games because of the state of balance of damage being so high and healing being so high. If you break LOS or something, damage is a million. Unless you're a hero that is hyper mobile or has these self-sufficiency tools, you need to be like hard engineered to walk away from your team in this game. And that feeling people are getting from playing like Gambit, that's something that the game should be aiming for, that they can achieve through balance for most of the cast.
Yep. He kind of shined a light on the entire support role, I think, Gambit, because of just how much better he is to play or feels to play and what he creates. I 100% agree. I also do agree with you about Daredevil, about that skill expression. Like, I think a general theme of this podcast is just like we just want more decisions that actually matter, and not just decisions that we either Like in Mr. Fantastic's case, it's just like it's like an irrelevant ability you don't even really want to use, or a decision that just ultimately you pick one, you pick the other, neither of them really matter. There's no like counterplay or decision making there.
I think with Mr. F, you could just make the argument that he didn't need to be changed in the way that he was at all. I don't know what it really added, to be honest, to like average players, players at the skill ceiling, whatever. It just was unnecessary.
Was it just a change just to? I mean, I've been feeling that way about a lot of the changes, though. The changes that just don't really make sense. Yeah, maybe it's similar to like the Thor change, which is just a change that just kind of feels circular. It doesn't really feel like it has a sense of direction. I would just love for them to talk more about why they do certain things. Like what's their intention, and then maybe a recap where they talk about maybe they had a certain intention and it didn't work out, so they're gonna change it, or instead of just. I mean, I was especially frustrated with Psylocke for a while, where she was like buffed and then nerfed and then buffed and then nerfed like 4 patches straight. And I don't really know why not really explaining what their vision is. Like, what's the goal? I would love to have that.
Anything but nerfing the actual damage they buffed back down. just give it a longer cool. Yeah, bro.
All right, so Deadpool, did we talk about that?
No, Deadpool. Duelist. Finally, we're getting another duelist.
Is it confirmed?
Or are we?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're gonna do some fuckery, like with changing his role or something. I don't know.
Really?
It would be. I feel like this is like, don't get your hopes up, but it would be hilarious if it was like him doing a fourth wall thing where he put himself in DPS to piss people off, and then he's released and he's like a vanguard, like.
I can't lie. I'm with you guys, because why?
So nice, but just don't.
Why is he the only character that they've had in the menu like before release? There has to be a reason why they've done that, right?
I think a random fucking. There's gonna be a random ass Tuesday, and he's just gonna be playable in ranked. For no fucking reason. Like, people are just gonna be able to select him like way before his release or something like that. People are like, wait, what the fuck? You can pick him in this game? Like
that would actually
you know what I wish they had done?
The craziest shit ever.
They should have made it so in ban phase you could pick Daredevil, or not Daredevil, Deadpool, and just ban him out, and people would get so pissed. I wish you could do that. Just the rage bit.
They have the release date when you hover over them in the little hero screen, don't they?
Yes, they do.
16th.
Okay, yeah.
Allegedly.
I think they're just doing it for marketing purposes. Daredevil's one of the most popular Marvel characters, right? So I think they're just doing it to be like, oh, here he comes, get ready. Start playing over Christmas break.
It's a good hype tool.
I kind of have zero idea what his kit's gonna look like at all. I mean, they could go a million ways with him, to be honest with you. Like,
I think he'll be DPS.
The jokes about Blade?
Maybe tank. Maybe tank.
What is it?
I can't wait for this guy with a gun and a sword who's going to have some sort of self-heal ability. Like, they handled the last one fantastically.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Blade.
Blade.
Yeah, because he's just.
They can't make Blade again.
Right.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm hoping for?
Like
I'm hoping for. Yeah, I think he'd probably have something similar to Wolverine. I could see that. But I'm hoping for him to have a kind of similar mechanic to Cloak and Dagger, where if you swap between the pistols or the swords, you get different ability like cooldowns that you can use. Just so you can like switch up the play style depending on the weapon you choose. I think that'd be quite a fun mechanic.
I think it'd be cool too if they added some form of like trick shotting or something where it's like he's doing moves and like you can line up like.
You know what they could do? You know what I'm thinking of? Max Payne, like the slow mo where you're jumping to the side.
That would be fourth wall breaking too.
Yes, because that's like Freya in Overwatch. You could do like a similar thing with that, but with Deadpool. I think it kind of fit the character as well.
We were talking last time where maybe he has something where he like. You know Nocturne in League of Legends?
Yeah.
Where the whole screen gets dark for everybody. Maybe he does something like that, but he like pops up on your screen or something. And it's like cleaning your screen like, you can't see. That'd be annoying, but like something like really...
It's like fucking... It was in Smash, where like there was an item you could grab in Smash on the Wii.
The Poppy, bro. It's the Nintendogs.
Yeah, the Nintendo. It's literally the fucking Nintendogs. But it's like Deadpool.
Like, well, even in Smash too.
I love the slow-mo idea so much, but...
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd be able to technically pull it off, and if that would just end up being busted OP. If he could move normal speed and he slows the entire game down by like half, but maybe they'd do that with like Quicksilver if they ever put him in the game. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, maybe they're showing him early because he's going to be a special release too. Maybe he could play all 3 roles. You know, like
he's like Spider-Man level character though. That's why they're showing him off early. Let's be real.
Yeah,
like,
that's most likely.
This is going to bring a lot of people back that are just casual and they just are fans of the universe. But I'm excited to see what they do with the kit. I was hoping that he would be a tank personally because I think it makes sense for the guy who just absorbs every bit of damage you can, absorb to be a tank. But he also fits DPS. Like I can't really be mad no matter which role they pick. Although I do feel like strategist is a bit more out there.
Yeah, I
to
believe
the other two.
Canonically, Daredevil. I might be getting my heroes mixed up, but even if he gets vaporized down to 1 atom, he can still regenerate. It's something like that where he's just like unkillable.
Yeah, maybe they'll literally make him like unkillable in the game. Like he just slowly regenerates on like a puddle. Until he's back. Like he does.
That's a really cool idea.
What if he can get like gourd? Yeah.
Just run around with his little baby legs.
Oh shit. Yeah, no.
He needs stuff like that. Like he needs lines where he like mocks you because you're not allowed to swap because he's going to come back to life. Stuff like that. Someone
what if they got Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah. Someone in my chat, shout out Toady, had the idea is like he should take his own health bar and just like smack you with it. As an ability.
Wait, they could do all kinds of stuff with the 4th wall. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like they could go. I want to see how absurd they go. Like I have no idea just how absurd they're gonna go with it. But yeah, no, I don't know about y'all's. Like I haven't really been streaming, but just in the videos I posted, I've actually seen like the biggest jump of viewership. This as of 5.5. Like I think like maybe it's like a culmination of all the things they've done, but I feel like the game's in a really good state. Like as far as content's concerned, like content's doing really well. And I think Deadpool's going to even put it even further. Like I think the game's in a really good spot. I don't know how y'all feel about the direction of the game, but just, 3 back-to-back like fairly good releases, and then now we're getting Deadpool, which is definitely going to be a mad hype release. I don't know. I just think the hype's kind of swelling a little bit, and the game's in a good spot.
The way I see it is like as a content creator, I am very grateful for like all the content that's getting pushed, and I thank God every morning that I'm not a pro player in this game. Like I would rather do anything else than go pro in this game now. I can't lie. So you know what? To all the pro players, kudos. But like ranked is not that bad, and neither is doing content creation. That's kind of fun. I think the game is always getting something new, so there's always something to talk about, which I love. Is great.
Right. No, I agree.
I don't think the pro scene's going to be around much longer at this rate with how they're balancing the game. Just my opinion.
Nah.
I think this game's for a fun game now.
I mean, they're with all the picks and bans they have, it definitely they kind of brute force it to be like kind of reasonable. Just with 4
that's the
bans
one
per
thing.
Team and the protects.
That's the one thing.
It's like a saving grace of it, honestly. It's like
Right.
to be honest, if they monitor the ban system or like keep it up to scratch, maybe that will help a lot. But there's already been a lot of teams pulling out, or like bigger
orgs
teams,
pulling out,
bigger orgs pulling out. Yeah,
3 as of last week.
Yeah, I think they
that's
just
only as
announced.
much as I know though.
I think they just announced something big, or they're gonna announce something big soon, or something like that.
I've heard some things, but I don't know if I can talk about it.
Yeah, I would definitely wouldn't, but yeah, no, I think the esports scene is gonna be fine. It's just like NetEase is just slow rolling everybody a little bit, which is as long as they deliver, it's fine. But yeah, anyways, okay, before we end, one last, just any hot take. If you have a hot take about the game, or just, anything you want to just throw out, Gallus, you're kind of the king of hot takes. So,
Am I?
You could kind of, yeah.
Start recording.
So. I think your content is like definitely like nonstop hot takes. I love it though. I'm like addicted to
Rage
watching
bait
all your,
shorts.
yeah, it's rage bait shorts. I love it.
Thank you.
I want to be in a Gallus short.
Yeah.
I might.
I'll do like a crazy YouTube reaction. I'll be like, oh, what? That's not right. That's not right. You can't say that. Angry chatter. Oh, I'll get my pitchfork here. I got a fork here. Here's my pitchfork.
I do not sound like that, bro.
No bad opinions. No bad. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
I wrote some stuff down the other day, but I want to see if any of this a hot take. Ooh. Hot. Okay, the hot take I would want to go with, besides what I wrote, which is about like more current state of balance. People don't care about balance. They don't. I think when the average person engages in a discussion about balance, they are bringing in some anecdote about how they think something is fair because of the heroes they play. That's it. They don't care about the ecosystem of the game. And that's how pretty much every comment on anything about balance goes. Especially as someone who makes primarily short-form content, usually how people engage with short-form content is that they are scrolling through emotions. That is like fundamentally the core of short-form scrolling, which I guess is doing myself a disservice a lot of the time by sticking to short-form. People do not care about balance in general. I think they say they would like to care about it, but man,
as a person
the game,
who cares,
like we need to be okay with nerfing stuff. Nerfing stuff does not ruin the game in any way. Like let's go for variety. Let's go for opening up the space as much as possible. Make the game good for a long time. All right, like 2 weeks of novelty is cool or whatever, but you can do that by making changes, not by just making buffs happen. And it's okay to say that maybe we shouldn't buff everything constantly. Yeah.
I was the internal timer for the TikTok was ticking down in my head. I felt like we only had like 5 seconds left in the clip. I was trying to give you my toxic reaction. My bad.
Bro. most of my time editing is just cutting out. I say too much. Like
you can just edit that part out though.
I've got. Oh yeah, you can.
I care about balance.
I've got one hot take and 2 balance changes that I'd like to see.
Okay.
So my hot take is that low rank players are not affected by balance and they shouldn't care about it either.
Yes!
You guys down in low ranks, you gotta understand that you probably don't understand the game, so it doesn't matter what they change. The game's probably gonna play the same, and you're still gonna lose to the characters that you struggle against because you need to build up a fundamental understanding for it to actually matter to you. For us high rank players that understand the game, every single change that happens will impact the way the game is played because we have a fundamental understanding of how to play the game and how to take full advantage of everything that works in the game. So for example, if Punisher's damage is changed by 1, what does that do for us? That makes it so that all the aim gods that play Punisher can now delete us maybe by 2 bullets faster. What does that mean for you guys? It means that maybe randomly you'll be on 20 HP and Punisher will kill you because he's just flicking his mouse around, you know? I think that a lot of the people who want balance in low ranks are mostly wanting it for selfish reasons, such as their own character getting buffed. But that won't make you better at the game. Your character being stronger doesn't mean that you'll be better or stronger at the game. It just means that the game might play a bit differently for your character. But overall, I think that high ranks are more affected by balance patches than low ranks are. Like, if I was playing any character, I could climb to probably top 500. That's playing any character. I could do it on Scarlet Witch, it doesn't matter. I think that they should definitely think more about the higher echelon. And that could just be like Diamond Plus for balancing. It doesn't mean it has to be the highest 1% players. But like people down in bronze and whatnot, not really affected, in my opinion.
God.
Trying to change the rules of fucking like basketball, and you just like you're playing at a high school level or something. It's like it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like you don't get to set the rules when you just don't understand the fundamentals, right? At all.
I feel a lot of strong feelings for average players about balance changes, unless they're super drastic, like sweeping changes. You could definitely look at them as like, if people are saying this patch is doing this, etc. A lot of it can be intellectualizing, changes or whatever. If you take a low rank thing player who's like, oh my god, I'm so glad his slam lasts like 5 seconds, and everyone they ever used it on died in 2 to 3 seconds, like, but they can go and say, oh, I'm so glad they buffed the thing, like,
yeah,
you were getting the exact same effect you were getting last patch. It didn't do anything. Like
that. I guess I'll throw my hot take in because it kind of piggyback off of both of y'all's. Yeah, I just think I think this actually affects high elo players too, but I just think perception matters a lot more to people than balance, just across the board. How people perceive how good a character is versus how actually good it is. And the way that I know that this is true is that we'll be sitting in a patch for a long time, and certain characters will be getting banned, and certain characters will be getting picked, and then all of a sudden there's a pro tournament that happens, and the pros are actually just playing some different stuff, and then, now all of a sudden everyone's playing Cap. All of a sudden now everyone's playing X, Y, and Z, and it's like everyone just like it's almost like monkey see, monkey do. They see what the patch notes is, they see what streamers say, they see what, their perception of the changes are. But like a lot of people aren't really trying to like actively explore them themselves or make up their own mind on these things. They're just kind of like following the leader, so to speak, about let's just keep banning the same things. And I think high elo players and low elo players do the same thing a lot of times, where they just kind of just follow the perception and they don't follow like what they actually feel or experiment.
I feel like I could add on that. I got a hot take on myself. I think the higher rank you get, the less your like individual skill matters relative to other players, and the more your character selection matters. And I think that's a major issue with the game. I think that's the number one issue with the game, is that the higher ranks you go, it actually becomes like less skill based in a lot of ways because of just the disparity between characters. And like you said, team captain in lower ranks, it doesn't really matter. Like if you're just better, you can just run it down on anybody and just brute force your way to wins. Just like run them with blade, shoot your shotgun, and you just like they just macro positioning. But like the higher rank you go, you will have to start playing Ultron. You will or else you're not going to get to those tippity top ranks unless you either like got someone you're playing with or you're willing to fill when your team doesn't. And I think that's the number one thing holding this game back, and it's why I don't really think this game has a a competitive future until that's addressed.
Yeah, and power creep does that. Like that is something that power creep
100%.
exacerbates. Yeah,
yeah. So I just play for fun now. I just play what I want. Because I'm not willing to like play Ultron when we don't have when we only have two healers, and that's kind of the way I've been enjoying the game. Is just like, pretty much just not really doing the mag, even though mag, like I feel like you want a mag on your team pretty much every game, and he's just so good. And Groot, Emma, like it's all the same tank. Cap is really good. I just at a certain point, the characters I like to play will have their day in the sun, and I'm just kind of be happy when that happens. But I'm kind of more playing in like a casual capacity now, I would say, to be honest, just because that's how I kind of view the game right now.
Do you guys have season 6 patch note predictions for like any drastic character like buffs or nerfs? I wanted to start off and just throw like 2 out. I think supports overall are going to get nothing, maybe a slap on the wrist for a couple, and they're going to overbuff Mantis and Adam. That's my prediction. just with the way things are going, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Invis gets a second jump or a third jump, 4 charges of jump.
Because I could literally, I could fix the support issue in one patch.
Jeff, I know they're gonna buff Jeff, and they shouldn't fucking buff Jeff, but they're gonna buff Jeff. Like, there's no way they don't buff Jeff.
They seem to care about like this difference between the supports. Like one of them can't just be like some kind of main healer, right? And they would do that by like, let's give them a team up with someone who is. And okay, maybe we go down that path. It seems like they dropped that for a bit, and we're just like, okay, let's just.
I tell you, bro, they're leapfrogging. Those little squares, those little squares behind you on the right side, that's where support started, and on the left, like they just like buff, nerf, buff, 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 nerf, buff, buff, buff. Like they just keep going up. They're stepping up.
Yeah.
They're gonna
It's so easy to balance the supports as well. Like as someone that's just played the game, you could play the patch for like an hour, and you can instantly tell what you could do. For example, for Invis, what's the issue with Invis? Her pull or grasp, it comes off on a cooldown way too short, and it's really oppressive to play against. Why can Wolverine have to wait 12 seconds to come in close and grab you when Invis can do it at any range basically on an 8-second cooldown, and she has the option to push you away or pull you in? That's just obviously a dumb like design. And then
and if that's something you
Gambit,
have to do to do it so frequently, does she need to have the self shield if she can push you away that often?
yeah.
And then
exactly.
Compared to like a new release, like I personally think Rogue's cooldowns are actually like perfect. I think that's the exact sweet spot they need to be, where it's like long enough to where if you save it all for like one burst window on somebody, you're paying a cost, which is like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to use my abilities to access the backline. I'm gonna be using them for damage. There's like a trade-off, and you actually have to be strategic with it, because if they're up all the time, right, there's no strategy to that. If you have cooldowns are always just ticking up, you're just gonna keep using them. right? So there has to be a bit of like a time where it'll force you to use it at the right time, or else you can just spam it because there's no punishment for wasting a cooldown. That should matter.
Yeah.
If you waste a key cooldown.
You know,
She's
season
a weird
6?
one because she's perceived by a lot of people as just a combo hero. So it's kind of weird, and I think players are struggling with the fact that if you're not comboing, there is way more nuance in this hero than in others or whatever. Like your positioning has to be a lot more surgical and stuff like that. It's like if you use steal, that's a 25-second cooldown, bro. So if you don't know what to do if you're not cooldown dumping one target, like this hero feels horrible, and that. You could make an argument, and that is a drawback of the hero, but
I was gonna say that they need in season 6. I think it's been too long. We need another squid. You know what I'm saying? We need like a squid or some shit, right?
What squid are we getting though?
Our armored squid, Iron Man,
lightning squid, invis squid,
lightning squid,
a wood squid with Groot.
Squid Game. Let's do a crossover with Nintendo. Splatoon.
Why not give him like 5 different ones? Like he could activate them all if he gets,
bro.
I don't fucking know, dude.
I want to see the squid just be the Splatoon.
Oh, you want
character.
power creep? I'll show you power creep. No,
Giant squid from the PvE, like just the
Squid Game.
But,
It's just the guy from Squid Game.
I think
Korean
Gambit kit is perfect, but do you guys know like what the issue is? It's mostly the ult, right? And it's so easy to fix the ult.
Alt does
What
everything.
would you guys do?
Remove the alt charge generation from it. That's got to go. That has got to go. That's absurd. Like no alt should make you generate alts quicker. What? Like, but
I think you just
He's a weird
remove the
one.
healing. Remove the healing from the ult and it's balanced.
I like that too. I actually like that too.
So something I think about is like Gambit seems like, bro, he was made sort of with that triple support in mind, and then they made adjustments to his kit to also make him like that 2 support slot. Like everything you would want out of other supports is also on his kit, so he just has a higher power budget. It's like when I hopped on this hero, I'm like, left clicks do insane healing. So why does he have all these tools and they're all this strong? Or I mean, with the ult, right? It's like, oh, we don't have a circle healing ult, right? But in application, what is this ultimate? You can cleanse hard stuns with it, right? So the reactive play of all the support ults is still there. What do? Everyone sits back, does nothing, and waits till someone messes up, right? And you have a Gambit ult, you have a Lunar ult, you're doing the same thing. Someone makes a play, you cancel it out, and then you rip all space away from the enemy team. And his ult does exactly that. In application, it's doing the exact same thing, and it should have some differentiating factor, especially if it's generating ults, especially if it lets you play make like this. I agree with maybe reducing the healing. To me, maybe removing the cleanse. Like,
Why does he have 2 cleanses? That never made sense to me.
yeah, it also
I'm
feels
okay
like
with that,
the base kit
personally.
cleanse is almost like tacked onto his kit at that point, because how punishing
Yes.
the card usage is.
Also, like
Yeah.
Mag ult can eat the cleanse, so then like the counterplay is removed when you can just ult to avoid that. Because like for example, the most popular combo in high elo right now is Groot Mag because Gambit can't cleanse with the cards, but he can just cleanse with the ult if he has the ult. So that's kind of counterplay removed, right?
Yeah. Potential
didn't know
depth
that.
removed from his kit by doing that as well. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one problem with the game right now is Gambit Salt. That's the number one problem. That's the most meta-defining thing in all my games is which Gambit, ult's better.
he should
I love
be
playing
banned
against
more.
Loki Gambit. That's fun.
That's I think.
I mean, Gambit
Jesus
should be being banned
Christ.
more. Like people don't get ban Gambit enough.
Because everybody wants to play him.
Yeah, that's
Everybody wants to
why,
play him
but
on both
it's
teams,
fun.
which is good. Like it's at
It's
least
cool, but I mean,
we have healers.
I bet you he's gonna have like one of the highest ban rates ever in pro play. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that when the pro scene comes back around, it's just gonna be permanent ban. Why wouldn't you not ban him unless you're just so confident that your team just plays the best version of triple? It's either, those are like the two options. You need to either have like the best version of triple possible, and you're just better at it than any other team, or you're banning Gambit every time. That's it.
yeah, on Gambit as well. Like, I just want to say this. Like, the sheer value you get out of that ultimate is doing a disservice to the potential that this hero has for just like fun in their kit and everything. It was fun for the first month, everyone going around doing whatever. Ults are coming out. Oh my god, everyone needs to adjust their game sense at the average ranks, whatever. But people min-maxing the hero
His heal numbers are so high. Kind of risky to waste cards that often. Unless you guys are doing like a hard engage that's happening over comms, this hero being min-maxed is sitting back, not doing creative stuff when he's the guy designed with all this creativity in the kit. But because of the state of balance, like the incentive really is to be doing less and less on him over time. And that's really bad.
I got an idea. What if you reduced his like overall base healing, but maybe when he got a cleanse off, feel like he got an increase to his healing, like a burst, something like that, where it's like he gets rewarded for making proactive plays, sort of thing, because you spend cards for it, right?
I add upon an idea?
Oh yeah,
I have an idea that I can add upon from that. What if, like, for example, if you got a cleanse off with his cards, it refunds one card, or if you got a kill with the anti-heal or with the explosion thing that he does, that refunds a card. But obviously, like,
lower his
give him
overall.
like something to take off that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue with his kit outside of the ult is his self-sustain. Why can like just give all of his health back with cooldowns? I don't get that. Like, he has the card that heals him over time, for one.
Yeah.
Then he has the slam that heals him. And then he has the dash that heals him. And then he has the dash plus slam that heals him. I think a good thing that you could do is make it so the dash doesn't heal him, only the slam heals him. And then it becomes balanced.
Yeah, I mean, kind of goes back to what you were saying. He doesn't really have an identity. His identity is just being the best at everything.
Like he should be this, like, I mean, strategist, because he has all these tools. So constantly, like, having like 5 decisions to make and 3 of them being the right one and 2 of them being the wrong one is like that is really good depth. And this hero can like create so much lasting fun for everyone involved, right? He doesn't need to be broken OP, and that actually can have the reverse effect and make that worse and less.
I mean, even in spite of all of his strengths, I still think he's more interactive to play against than Invis and Ultron. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I don't think I think if you're gonna have a best support in slot, I think Gambit is probably the best one that you could have as the best supported slot. Although, like, we can definitely tweak him down and tweak his power level down. He doesn't need to be leading the pack by such a large margin. But
I think Invis is genuinely one of the least fun characters to play against for most characters in the game. Like, that character is genuinely unfun to play against. And I think they need to remove the slow from the shield. I don't know if you guys know this. If you walk through an Invis shield, it slows you down. Why is that a thing? They need to
they added it forever
increase the cooldown of the book.
irrelevant, and now it's fucking terrible.
There's some jank that's been on that shield, or just maybe shields in general as well, because for a while, because you notice it on Mr. Fantastic, but if you bounce close enough to an Invis shield, it eats the entire AoE of your ult.
Yes.
And you lose the bounces. Like,
same thing with Wolverine. It kills your entire ult.
Like, it eats the whole circle. It's just this little thing. The whole circle is gone. Either side of the shield, whatever. If you land close enough to an Invis shield, you then land in the enemy team, stuck in an animation. You go back to 300-ish health, and you die. Like,
instantly. Yeah.
What if, sorry, just go back to Gambit ult one more thing. This is something we mentioned last week. Be curious to hear your thoughts. What if they keep all the effects of the ult, but you have to pick which one you get, and it's maybe you could use it more? And then you could just click it you like click it twice to lock in which one.
So who's choosing? Is it the Gambit or the player?
Gambit? The Gambit. Oh, I didn't think of that. So you could, that's interesting too.
That's interesting. Yeah,
that'd be a weird like little mini game you'd have to do, like actually, because it's fun to like when you get all those buffs.
I think the problem with the ult is that they just slap so many things on it. That's the biggest issue. It's like they didn't know what to do with it.
They could have it to where the effects start to wear off over time. Like,
I like that.
The cards start, like, less and less cards are flying around you into this, like, just a few.
What if he needs to have 4 cards for the ult to be at its strongest state? So if he has his cards expired, then the ult's not as strong.
Or like maybe each card gives him an extra effect too, or something like that. I just really like the idea of like you being able to pick the effects because it gives him so many more choices to make.
I like that.
And then,
it's like the abilities where he like picks the healing or whatever. But
it's like the same.
And then it's like spades shows up, you press it again, it's like hearts. Press it again, it's like clubs or whatever, and each of these is like either it's a damage boost, you choose a healing one, if it's a speed one, I don't know. Like,
I mean, they could just give them 2, one that's defensive and one that's offensive, instead of like Like, because there's the two sides, the heal and the damage. So like
Well, they could do that when you're, when you have everyone in your field of view and you have the selection. They could do it so you press like right click or left click to choose defensive or offensive.
Right,
maybe.
right, and it doesn't do both. It doesn't sustain. So like if you're using it to be on the front foot, you could still get counter ulted and just get fucked up that way. Like they could Starlord ult in response and kill you. Or if you could use it defensively, then you're like sustaining from what they're doing. But you can't like sustain and then pivot, like doing that thing like Gallus said, where you're like wiping away their play and then pivoting into them and winning the fight anyways. Like you get to pick and choose those things, reactive or proactive, and not both at the same time.
Yeah,
kind of hard.
I mean,
to
the
take
argument
away.
against that is that they've entrenched that so hard in the balance. Like,
Right, it's kind of hard to take that away.
Not having that currently is a non-starter.
Right? Yeah, it's sometimes it's a little. I'm afraid that's how it is with Invis Shield now. Like, are support players gonna lose their fucking mind if they take away the ability for her to shield herself? Because then now they're used to it. Now it's entrenched in their play style or whatever.
I feel like a small the thing is they're a very vocal minority. I feel like a lot of the support players that complain online are just a very vocal minority.
Yeah,
like
it's the Mercy Mafia, right? Was it the
Zip in my mouth
Mercy
here.
Mafia?
Yeah.
I mean, shout out. I've seen quite a few of them. The Invis mains out there who are like, she didn't need this buff, and I play her a lot. It's like,
Respect.
you, bro. Yeah,
Respect,
yeah,
yeah.
actually, like,
Right.
Shout out Desley. Desley was an avid Invis player in High One. He's even saying that Invis is overtuned now.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of Invis players that have a brain.
I don't know who it is. I keep seeing this top 500 Invis that is just like on TikTok that just like hunts people and assassinates them in 1v1.
Oh, I know who you're talking
and
about.
they just don't
They
lose
1v1 everyone.
anyone he wants. I'm like, are you fucking joking me?
I hate that. Because she can do that. It's just you get way more value just healing people.
If
so
you
it's
get
like,
the jump on someone and they run away, you just pull them back and they can't do shit. Like they're just.
Have you seen the one with the Iron Fist where he's like he tries to fight him?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucking. It's literally over. Like if you have one get out of jail like movement ability, the pull just counteracts that and you die. Like
I find it crazy that people defend it as well. Like if an Iron Fist, who's a character that's favored at close range, gets the jump on you, like at close range as a healer, you should die, right? Like,
yeah,
I feel like that shouldn't be debatable.
you're making me think of this.
Especially after like 15 seconds of engaging you, but they start to lose after that long. They lose the fight.
You just made me
arguably, you'd like there to be some skill matchup, like we talked about with like the old Luna freeze. It's like, he
of
gets the
course.
jump and he's in an advantage state, but there should be some like stuff going on. But like,
But they just beat
bro,
them
like-
through like stats, like through just bigger numbers than the Iron Fist has, you know?
Yeah.
Which is not what it should be.
and if people are cheering for this, like, bro, there is going to be an opposite reaction, and the devs might be forced to knee jerk in the other direction, right? It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
and
if
then
the
what
dive heroes
happens
can't
when
do anything when
yeah.
they get to you? What are they going to do next patch? Do you think they're going to make them more lethal? So
It's
if
the
they get the jump on
pendulum,
you,
it's
explode
swinging.
instantly before you can do something. Like,
When you guys talk about that Invis going and solo people on the backline, you gave me PTSD because I remembered the flank. I had a flank Luna in a 2-healer comp, and she solo ulted while diving the enemy team backline. I was so mad. I'm like, dude, why is our Luna solo ulting by her? She was literally by herself. She got 2 kills. She got 2 kills and got out. Like, it's just
That's like
so,
Zen player stuff.
It
bro.
is
That's
literally.
what
I
Zen
love doing
players
that
would
shit
do.
as
just
Zen, bro.
abusing support, like abusing that role. Like, it's obnoxious, man. It's too much.
That's the best. That's
I'm
actually
gonna
the
go on
best shit
strike.
ever. It's the best shit ever.
Bro,
Peak.
this was something I wrote down because I didn't know if we were going to talk a whole lot about. Actually, there's too much to talk about. But I think like when the average player base starts using supports to the fullest extent, or learn a bit more, like once support players start going on off angles, it's over, bro. These
Pick 4
heroes are
sports.
just better. They take better 1v1s. They have more in their kits. They have better ults. It's like once people start actually maxing out what they can do with these heroes, no one's having fun anymore, and everyone is on the support heroes. This is where this leads. Like what the
wanna
Invis
know
player
what
is
the
doing,
percentage
more
of-
and more people are
like,
going to
top
start doing
100.
it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm pretty sure it's massively support dominated in the top 500, right? Like, it's just like
It's
a ton of-
8%. Whoa, guys!
I just
before like we end anything, do you want to talk about the recent news I don't know if you guys saw
what's
it.
the recent news?
The player Zype got 5 of their accounts taken off the top 500 leaderboard today. I don't know if you saw
Wait,
that.
I
Sci-Fi
didn't see
did?
that.
Yes, Zype got
Oh,
5
Zype-
of their
uh,
accounts removed from the top 500 leaderboard. They were holding 6 spots in the top 10, and NetEase unlisted 5 of their accounts.
Really?
Wait, I
So
just did a VOD review
they're
of
still
that
the
person.
same.
That person's
Yeah, they're
good.
still the same SR, but they're unlisted, so they can't
they
show
don't-
up on the leaderboard.
They can't
I
be
was
on
gonna
the
s-
leaderboard.
So I mean, top 500 was technically top 495.
I mean, top
with-
500 is most likely top 200 because I'm pretty sure it,
Yes.
like most
Oh,
top
okay. I had,
100
like,
players
3
have at
accounts in
least
top
2.
500.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like
There you
the
go.
vast majority of them are alting. Like there's at least
Right.
But the thing is, they've only done it to him. So what does that mean?
Well, I mean, he because he has fucking 60
His-
counts in top 10.
Yeah, I
you know?
understand that, but the only reason why they did that is because like a Reddit post or a Twitter
I
post.
mean, they did
came
the
up.
same shit. I mean, they kind of did the same shit to Aimbot Calvin back in the day when
Do
he
you think
did that.
that's,
they did the same stuff.
maybe has something to do with anti-smurfing at all? Like their views
Well,
on that?
my
'Cause you can
tinfoil
report
hat
people.
wearing self, I
Let's
was
do
like,
that.
they did it because they didn't want to show the community that supports are this broken. That's what I thought. Because top 10 was all support players.
I mean,
Wow.
I don't think it's well. They did. I remember
Probable.
They did bring him in for like the playtest of Rogue like early. So maybe
They
they were
did,
like,
yes.
maybe they were like, hey, we're gonna deactivate 5 of your accounts, but we'll bring you on. You could try the hero out early. No worries, no
That's
hard
a-
feelings.
That's a bold accusation, man.
No.
That's a-
I think
I
that
think
just
they're
on
just trying
principle,
to,
Cover
they
up.
don't. I think
cover
on
up.
principle, they just don't want like.
Did they make a statement? Did they say anything, or did it just
No,
happen?
they haven't. They haven't. It just happened like overnight, basically.
We might have to push them on that. Hey, everybody watching the podcast, you know, let's start a
Free
riot.
Zype.
Yeah,
Free Zype. He didn't do nothing wrong.
I thought it was Syef. Am I?
Yeah,
am I
isn't it
sounding wrong?
Syfe? Isn't it
It's
Syfe?
Zype, like Zype.
Zype. Okay.
Yeah.
Zype?
Well,
I'm
there you
saying
go.
his name entirely wrong this entire time. My bad.
Look, I'm all for like the integrity of the leaderboard. Like in a vacuum, it's like yeah, just one account in top 500. Sure, I get it. Doing it to one guy, not say anything. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's okay to accept that stuff might be broken after you buff a lot of them. That will happen. Okay, so I hope it's not for those reasons.
I mean, in his defense, he's had many accounts in the top 10 since the beginning of the game. So support's not
Yes.
uniquely broken this season. It's been broken every season. No, I'm just kidding. He's just fucking nuts. He's just fucking nuts.
He's the
yeah,
GOAT.
Yeah, he's just the GOAT. I'm pretty sure he would be top 10 on anything. But
Anything.
not yeah. No, not a tank. Not
Let's
a tank.
see it.
Support. No, I was kidding.
Zype. Thing only. Top 10. Let's go.
He's only top
10 thing accounts in top 10, bro.
There's like one with each different skin. Yeah, it's like that. The blue.
I would respect that like crazy.
I want them to just
That would go
gig
so
above
hard.
brawlers one season. Like I just want like a thing, Mr. Fantastic meta one season. Like what would they even have to do to these fucking characters
I love
to make
Thing
them
right
that
now.
strong?
I know he started with
They would
things,
have
but
to buff them so absurdly hard to make them like the best characters in the game. Like Mr. Fen is two tapping you or something
way,
like that.
Things probably like some dumb, like super high uptime on like self damage resist and like maybe more
Right.
health. Mr. Ref.
I forgot this.
Indestructible.
I don't even know, man.
I forgot to mention this like new tech with Thing. I actually like so Thing used to be hard countered by Groot. Thing that matchup's kind of flipped now. Like I think it's actually like decently Thing favored with a competent team. Like
Yeah,
unless
he's
you're
a
against
tank
heavy
shredder
poke,
now, right?
he can survive. Like every time he punches Groot, he gets 100 health shield. So every
It
second,
is
it's
fucking
and Groot can't really kite you.
Let's
so
just
unless
up
they
that. Let's keep upping that number until it's
Right.
just like he just doesn't
like
die.
he can play into a lot more matchups. That's why I say like against Thing, you just play like don't even pick a tank, just blow him up and he can't walk up.
Can we give Thing like the unstoppable effect that Groot has when he has his wall? Like, why is Thing able to be grabbed by shit like Emma? Like, I feel like they should just make it so he just can't be CC'd at all. Like, just give
I
him
feel like the
unstoppable.
Emma grab should be like kind of thought about more. Isn't it so goofy when Emma grabs like Monster Hulk and just like slams him on the floor? That looks so dumb.
Wait, you're gonna trigger Captain Coach?
Just like I felt my heart rate go up. I gotta take my pills, bro. I was getting stressed out, man.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't played Hulk in like 3 or 4 days. It's nice. Like I've actually been a lot more positive and friendly. I'm in the Bruce form, man. It's been Rogue
He's
is
getting no love. He's getting zero love.
It's
I
so
want Hulk
depressing.
to get more love. He's such like a high skill hero with so much play potential, and they've just done nothing with him. It feels like.
Yeah, I got a lot of opinions on Hulk. I don't know if you guys want to hear my bitching. I can be here for another hour and a half. I just like at this point, the game's power crept too hard. You compare like Rogue to Hulk, where I think I'd say Rogue is like a mix between Hulk and Iron Fist, and the reason I say Iron Fist is because Iron Fist has like instant mobility. Even though his jumps are kind of not the best for moving around, he has a lot of them. And they're instant. So if you get CC'd, you can immediately relocate, or if you're about to get CC'd, you can immediately jump out of the way. Right? With Hulk, he has to wait a second to move. So every time, I mean, obviously every Hulk player knows he's vulnerable to CC, but it's because you have to recharge your jump. So a lot of people are saying just make it so you don't have to recharge your jump when you get CC'd.
You build it up and then you have it. Right?
That's going to look weird, though. It'll look weird like when you get pulled back and you just whoop. It's going to look odd. I don't think you can do that. Plus, I don't think it's very thematically because Hulk's kind of like bigger. So I would say like either give him back his bubble shield so he's got that immunity longer, or like at this point he needs some kind of CC immunity because the damage in the game's too high. But for anyone who like plays games, whenever the CC in a game is really high, the damage can't also be high, or you have these like super toxic like ways to get kills. The more valuable CC is, the more valuable damage becomes. Or sorry, the more prevalent CC is, the more valuable damage becomes. And right now we're just moving in that direction where it's just ramping up so high, Hulk just can't keep up. So he either needs some kind of CC immunity or some kind of way to take significantly less damage, or else he will never be viable. That's where I'm at this point. I've never called for Hulk buffs, but he needs them at this point. So
we could just like nerf Phoenix once. Could be a good move. Like,
No, let's give her
she's
more
so
health.
broken now. I think she's like S++ right now because you can't break her.
Talking about Phoenix
deal with
buff,
that, bro. People started focus firing it. Oh, we can't have that. Excuse me?
Yeah,
Like,
you had
what-
something with like clear counterplay, and it was like kind of hard to do. But like if everybody does it, it's like okay, let's just get rid of that. Like what are we doing?
but that makes their whole design philosophy make more less sense because they're trying to balance for casuals, right? But weren't casuals struggling more with the act of shooting the ult? So why would they buff the HP of the ult? That I completely don't understand that buff at all.
No,
And now with
no.
Gambit
It
ult,
makes no
it's
sense.
impossible. Have you ever tried to kill Phoenix that's been Gambit ulted in her ult? It's sped up.
Oh.
It's faster.
Wait, is it really?
She gets speed boost from Mantis ult and Gambit ult.
I did not
It's
know
impossible to break it.
I usually just started like running to hide the last season for Phoenix ult. So
Yeah, no one
noticed.
shoots it anymore.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's-
do? I just face
Block it.
tank it on tank.
Yes.
You either fly in front of it as Angela, or as I did today on Rogue, you can use your kick to go up towards it and block it as well.
Yeah, I
So
did that
if you're a
once.
tank player, start doing that because no one's going to start breaking it. I'm not going to lie. That's the only options you have.
Yeah, the only reason I can think that they did that is they want it to be more rock paper scissors with ults. Because I think what was happening with Rocket, like they want Phoenix to be a clear counter to Rocket, I think, because with Rocket ult up, it's actually easier to break. So there's actually
it has to be because of Rocket. Like that's the only reason.
I feel like
that
I feel like
it's.
I mean, you already
also, why
Which
did
is a
they?
shame. Like that.
you already couldn't break it
shooting
when you had all
interact like
melee
that.
team. Yeah, like they're just taking away a lot of like skill, like counterplay ability, and it's just like really, makes me sad. Makes me sad.
It's like a weird one with the ults like that, man. It's almost like with the introduction of Phoenix, they're trying to create some very base level of increased depth in like ult trades or whatever. But it's like you use this, I use this, right? That was already there, but I guess there's technically an extra layer in that Phoenix uniquely interacts with deployables, right? But that comes at the cost of so much more depth in the neutral fight, and the neutral fight is what people pick these games up for, bro. It's like, oh, I want to play Spider-Man, not because of his ult, like it's because of what you do in between them, bro. Like the ults, especially the ult design in this game, most of them are circles. Like it is not the best this game has to offer.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's rock paper scissors with alts, and then support alts are just like nuclear bombs. They just beat everything. Like, obviously, I'm gonna take that one.
And that becomes like
Bro.
who uses their bomb second or whatever. Like
Right. Like, imagine if you gave Hulk like a Luna ult, like his own Luna ult. It'd be so OP. The Hulk had just like immune. Like it comes with them.
To do some sort of circle of like anti-heal, and he just makes fun of Luna's dance the whole time.
That's
What the fuck?
that's
pretty
peak.
good. I like that.
That is good.
That is good. 100% anti-heal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so broken. Like
yeah,
that would be honestly. That would be. I would love that. That just something to hard counter that. But we've been complaining about this for how many seasons now? I don't think it's changing.
Yeah,
Changes will come. They respond to some stuff. One of the only hot fixes they did was they hotfix nerfed Wolverine when he got that Phoenix teamer. It's like the possibility is there. Like and they will respond to some stuff. Even if a lot of the time it's not great, like they put a 200 ult charge nerf on Invis and Gambit, in my opinion, purely for optics of people who are like, something needs to be done about this. But if that's important to you, and you think the state of the game can be better, make it known.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold out a lot of like judgment, I guess, until 6.0, because I feel like 6.0. I mean, in 5.0 they did massive fucking changes, like insane changes, and then in 5.5 it's kind of eh. So maybe in 6.0 they do massive changes again, and we get actual nerfs and actual changes to characters, but we'll see. Who knows?
I feel like the 0.5 seasons are always kind of lackluster in terms of meta change.
Right.
They tend to be very stagnant, it seems.
They're probably just working on other stuff, most likely. And
I mean, which is like
fair,
almost like a head scratcher to me, because there's a lot in this patch, and a lot of them are like, at least in this patch's case, they took a few like bottom of the barrel DPS and tried to bring them up a little bit at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, but like almost all the tank changes were just completely. I mean,
did forget about Wanda.
Word, maybe.
I think Wanda's like she's playable now. I think Wanda's decent, honestly.
She's all right.
Do you guys play her at all? I don't play her.
No, never.
Who plays Wanda unironically though? Like she's so boring compared to like the rest of the cast.
They need to rework that character. I'm a Wanda hater. I'm sorry. I just
she's a weird one. I think I don't think I was a big fan of what they did with her in this patch, because it's like I think it's just across the board good. It's like if Wanda started becoming good in high ranks, and it was through changes like this, like what is this, a faster and easier to use stun that like really frustrating to go into, or like
that was good. I like that.
Oh, do you like that one?
That's gonna be in the intro. Let's go.
It's like your frame skipping, like someone like knocked your TV or something.
Bro, I'm getting PTSD from zombies if you're getting spawn trapped by that shit.
Oh, bro. Yeah, and it's that, or it's like they upped the pull speed of her ultimate, and to me, and like that's just gonna terrorize low ranks, and they hate her. Like this hero is something that selects players out of the game.
That caught me
by
off guard
virtue
one
of
time.
it being accessible, right? It's like if
like
you're a
Moira.
bronze player,
Yeah.
if you're a bronze player and you want to pick up, God, why am I using this example? Hela, right? You're going to lose to Wanda in bronze if you have bronze mechanics, right? So you get selected out of something potentially more interesting, and you're being forced onto auto aim hero that's perceived as broken. Like don't do that. She can have more depth instead. You can balance for both. It's possible. Yeah.
I mean, low-ranked players have been saying that Wanda's viable for the longest time. Like, when I was going on Reddit and people were talking about dive, they're like, what is good against divers? And they always say Scarlet Witch is good against divers. You can easily pressure them out. And I'm like...
Yeah, maybe if they fucking engage like 45 seconds to try to go for one play, you definitely follow them around for 45 fucking seconds. Yeah, you'll
one business day for a kill.
Bronze Panther who misses one dash and stands there and dies.
Just stand away from your healers and press your ult, and you'll peel them away with the pull that she has. That was a joke. That you don't want to play that way. No, the first time I got hit by the Wandal, like the new suck, I was doing my little fly thing on Angela, and I didn't realize that it like moved you in that fast. I actually got like pulled. It was like a horror movie. Like, I was getting dragged. I actually died. Like I actually got hit by a Wandal, which it's like I don't think that should really happen too much on anyone really. Like it's still pretty hard to land unless you have like a Groot or someone to pair it with or Strange, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is officially our longest podcast. It was chill. It was a nice pod. We yapped for a whole 2 hours. I think it was a good convo. It was a good one. But yeah, Gallus, tell people where to find you to support your content.
I am GallusOW on YouTube and Twitch. Those are probably the main ones. You can find me. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, but that's OCE time, 6 p.m. I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. I absolutely love stuff like this. I've watched every podcast. Like,
hell yeah,
I really
man.
Appreciate it. No,
Dope.
like people out there love stuff like this, man. Yeah. Just like keep up the good work, and I really appreciate you inviting me on. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, you're welcome. You're more than welcome to come on in another episode. We'll do a lot more of these.
Coach Mills, Gallus was on my team for the BASM tournament a couple months ago. He was he was our field player. You filled for us. Came in clutch, man.
No,
Super
nice.
clutch.
I was on C&D, like melee attacking like all the Spidey one tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got pretty good at that. Like,
nice.
We've been through some stuff, man. So hell yeah, definitely a pleasure to have you on, bro. Have like this is the first time I've actually like gotten to sat down and talk to you. You know, so definitely a pleasure.
I've had a blast. It's good
to talk to the man and not the rage baiter. You know, I get to talk with the actual guy.
Stand by like all of what I say.
I know, but those hooks, man. I think I ran to you once in the game, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, you're the rage baiter, and you were like, yeah, that's how you give views. I'm like, you're right.
Well, it would be a pleasure to have you on.
I need some TikTok tips, bro. My TikToks are slacking, bro.
I'm better at YouTube Shorts now, apparently. So, but I mean, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw you got a couple with like over 1 million. That's crazy. Like, I think the BP one, I get recommended that one daily, like the BP one.
Yeah,
where you talk about, which is like no one plays BP right now, but it's just like they want you to watch that. Like, what makes BP balance or how to balance it, something like that. But
it's like discussion
responding to
stuff
Cardcat,
is doing really well for me on YouTube, and
Same.
It's weird. It's weird for me to say that because I make mostly shorts, and you wouldn't expect that kind of. But people stick around for that more on YouTube, I'm noticing. Like heroes with those hardcore communities, stuff like BP, that was a fun little like content investigation or whatever. Like I spent some streams, went over like Cardcat's rework, gave my thoughts on it, stuff like that. A lot of the frustrations people have with this hero, like the dynamic of other players interacting with it and it interacting with them, probably what needs to happen with him, blah, blah, blah. He's a bit of a lot of the symptoms of issues with the game are present in BP, and it was very, very stimulating to talk about. Yeah,
I mean, we'll definitely get you on again sometime, man. It was a pleasure having you.
I'd love to.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And then,
yeah, man.
TeamCaptain, tell people where to find you. Most people know you, but let us know.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, TeamCaptain, or my Twitch channel, TeamCaptain001. That's with the 001. It's not the guy with the Rock Lee profile picture. Just make sure you get that right.
Right.
I'm currently pushing for rank 1 rogue. I'm currently rank 2 rogue in the world, and I should maybe have it by the time this is done recording.
I'm coming for you, TeamCaptain. I'm top 12 right now. My count's still going up.
3 days is when this episode will get posted, so you have 3 days.
3 days? I get it tomorrow.
Someone
so rank 1 rogue by the time this is posted.
There's no way I could be rank 2 rogue because my count's only GM1 right now, but someone did tell me I was rank 2 and then I lost 2 games. They said I was still top 12.
Yeah.
The rank 6 rogue is a GM1 player currently.
Okay, so there you go. Yeah, so I'm GM1 right now, and like I smurfed it up, so I have like 70 MVPs. I had a lot of losses grinding up. It was actually pretty tough, but I'm coming for you, man. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Well, hey, thank y'all guys for coming on. I really appreciate y'all coming on, and definitely get you on a future podcast. But see you later. Peace. Bye.